for the finale of Demeech December, I say we go back to the epicenter of the earthquake that was Demeech. Now, I think it's fair to say that if we were going to pin it down to one game in particular, one set of videos in particular, it would be his Switch Sports duology, would you say? 1, 2 videos? No, it's not a duology, it's a trilogy. Is it actually a trilogy? It's a quadrilogy. But it's not, I'm lying, it's not a quadrilogy. It's a quintology. Except I'm lying even more. And it's actually a hexology. 6 videos. And maybe there's even more that I missed. But this is the timeline I've managed to compile for you. So without further ado, let's start right from where it began with the most shameless Nintendo game ever made way back in February 2022. Without further ado, gamers, what? The Switch Sports Saga. Let's begin, gamers, let's begin. So some of these, like I said, I'll start from certain timestamps, but I think the main one, which is, I think it's this one. I think this one's the main one, has like the bulk of the views, 200k views. We're going to watch this from start to finish, but the rest of these, we'll kind of skim a little bit. Sexology? Slippy D, young man. Calm down. This is better lore than the MCU. We'll have to see, won't we? Let's begin. Should we go from the top? I want to hear the intro.
You are now watching Demeech.
I like the intro. 10 years, huh?
The Nintendo Direct was everything that I had wished for. The catch is that Norm the Genie was the one granting the wishes. Not only was the announcement of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC disappointing, but Nintendo somehow managed to cause even more disappointment. I absolutely love the Wii Sports games. These are games that pretty much everyone can enjoy, even if they don't play video games. I made a video 2 years ago showcasing why I wanted a successor to Wii Sports.
Isn't it a bit strange, guys, considering all the videos of Demetr we've watched? He's okay with a family game like Wii Sports being available to everyone to play. And yet when that same sort of mentality goes to his beloved Mario, oh, we can't have easy modes. Demeech, my man. Very strange. Very skibbity.
Mainly because it would be on modern hardware, but there were also many new possibilities for new sports, mechanics, as well as theming. When they initially announced it in the Direct, I was thrilled, but when they showcased the game, something struck me as wrong.
What was it, Demeech?
And I couldn't spare my disappointment. The first thing you'll notice right away is the lack of Mii's being in the spotlight. They are indeed here, but the characters in the spotlight are these bizarre-looking characters called Sportsmates. They look like Ninjala characters.
Hey, listen, hop off Ninjala was actually fun. I put it in the pile of games that I played for 2 weeks to 2 months before stopping playing, and if I was going to rank all of those, Ninjala was definitely one of the good ones. Okay? Leave Ninjala alone. That was actually fun for like 2 weeks, and then everyone was really good, and I couldn't play anymore.
Why Nintendo decided to ditch the established Mii's is beyond me. We got a remake of Miitopia last year, which included a more advanced Mii editor. The Sportsmates look very out of place. How would you feel if the next Mario game had Mario look like this?
I would buy it. Would you buy it, guys? I think I'd buy it. I think I'd... Come on, Demeech, you're doing a bad job selling me, brother. I would play... This is... Hey, it's me, Mario. Hey, it's me, a Mario. I'd buy it. Look, wood, see? You'd file a restraining order? Taylor. Don't check your mailbox tomorrow.
The art is actually pretty good, but it's not what Mario should look like. Just an interpretation, but I'd go as far to say the Sportsmates are not well-designed characters. They all share the same design. Mii's are simplistic, and that's okay.
You can literally still use the Mii's. It's such a non-issue. No, mirror. Come on. You're doing this thing. You're doing this thing, Mirror, where like you're being normal and like multifaceted and prioritizing things depending on how important. Listen, the Sportsmates are front and center, and that's worse than Hitler. That's the mindset we have to go into this chat. Come on now. Sorry, it's okay. Don't worry. Listen, we all have our moments where we decide to be just normal adults. Come on now. This is the worst thing ever made. This made me want to die. They killed my childhoods. Let's keep going.
There's a lot you can do with them, but that isn't the only issue here. One of the things that made Wii Sports Resort great was not only the quality of the sports, but the theming as well. It takes place on a tropical island called Woohoo Island. It ties all the
Okay, maybe he is grasping at straws, maybe a little bit. Is he gonna go, Wii Sports Island was so iconic. This new island just isn't as iconic. I'm like, I don't know, Demeech. Is it maybe because one was your childhood and the other wasn't?
sports together. You can even fly around and explore the island if you want. Nintendo Switch Sports does have a central location, but not a very interesting one.
What makes you say that?
Nintendo seriously went from Woohoo Island to the Woohoo Convention Center. It simply does not look appealing. What many don't know is that
what if they had the island flyover though? Would you have said the same thing to me? This is such a, it's my childhood, but it's not my, this is such a, it's my childhood moment, isn't it? It definitely is.
there exists a remake of Wii Sports called Wii Sports Club. It's a remake of the first game that introduced online multiplayer and HD graphics.
Ooh.
It also takes place at a country club. Woohoo Island is still far more creative, but at the very least, Wii Sports Club not only looks quite good, but it plays very well too. All of the sports incorporated Wii Motion Plus, and there are even some gamepad features to make the games more immersive. Now sure, the game only has 5 sports.
Oh shit, you can, that's actually pretty cool. I never played the Wii U versions of the Wii Sports games. It's pretty cool that you can aim your ball like this. I thought that was pretty cool.
Now sure, the game only has 5 sports. Wii Sports Club had a very bizarre release. Nintendo tried experimenting with trying to make the game a service where you could try out the game, but had to purchase the sports individually. But it did get a physical release including every sport. But regardless, all the sports were fleshed out and even better than the originals. But what about Nintendo Switch Sports? You're getting 6 sports: tennis, bowling, volleyball, badminton, swordplay, and soccer. Football to anyone who's not a Yankee. There were 12 sports in Resort. It wasn't quantity over quality either. All the sports were very fleshed out and a lot of fun to play. So this is already a complete and utter downgrade. Out of the 6 sports...
So just to clarify, the game isn't out yet, right? So even though there are less sports, it's a bit weird for him to say it's not fleshed out. Unless it was out. I should have probably got the release date to hand. But I do have the money at hand, yes! But he cringes at even the name. I bet he does. It wakes him up at night. It makes it. Is it just me? But 6 is more than 5 or less. I think. You're onto something there, Mira. Hang on. Let's look this up real quick. Let's do. When did Switch Sports come out? Switch Sports release dates. So 29th of April. I think there was like a playtest, wasn't there, beforehand, so you could like see what the game was like. But a bit weird for him to. A bit weird to make that statement when you haven't played the game yet, Demetr. I'm gonna be honest. A bit strange, but. I'll let it slide for now. It's not the worst crime you're going to commit today.
2 are very similar, being tennis and badminton. Tennis and bowling are also the only sports included from the original game. No baseball, no golf, or no bowling.
I do think it's weird how they include badminton and volleyball when they're pretty similar to tennis. I definitely do think it's a bit weird. Definitely a bit strange. I'm not faulting him too much for now, but let's see. I wonder if it's going to progressively get stranger as the stream goes on. I wonder, chat. I wonder.
Wii Sports Resort didn't have boxing or baseball, so it could possibly mean the quality of the sports makes up for the lower quantity.
I think the biggest crime of Switch Sports was not having golf at launch, because golf is like probably my favorite game. So if they had it at launch, I might have considered buying it, but they didn't, and I just forgot. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I am definitely a golf fan there. I'm not beating the old allegations, I know. But even as a kid, I really liked golf. I thought golf was my favorite. But golf and bowling are too outdated for the sports series now. Yeah, but guess what? Maybe you're outdated, Hasbro, huh? Maybe you're outdated. Gengar in 2024. Hop onto Goldengo, brother, okay? Baseball was my favorite. Baseball was cool. Baseball and bowling. Yeah, bowling. You can't go wrong with bowling. Bowling is outdated. Maybe your profile picture's outdated, huh? Okay, I like golf. I'm old.
For Wii Sports' successor, soccer was hands down the sport I wanted to see the most. Unless you're the goalie where you can throw the ball. The Joy-Cons are quite versatile to where you could use a leg strap to play the game. That way you could play soccer by kicking, just like you would in real life. Maybe I was a bit too harsh on Switch Sports. The game will be launching with the leg strap bundled in, and I am very hyped to get the game day 1, so I can see what motion-controlled soccer would be like.
A free update is scheduled for this summer that lets you play soccer matches with the Joy-Con controller and the leg strap accessory.
Wait, is this saying you can't even use the pack-in Switch Sports accessory at launch?
In addition, a second free update that lets you enjoy golf will launch this fall.
Oh, here it goes, gamers. Here it goes. Demetr cheery.
Oh gosh. And now, we get to the main problem with Nintendo Switch Sports.
Maximum
The
fury.
biggest problem with Nintendo Switch Sports, without a doubt, is that it's launching on...
Okay, do you know what, Demeech? Do you know what? That was kind of funny. I'll give you props for that. I'll give you props for that. That gave me a laugh. Good joke, good joke. Is the video actually like legit over? Or does it continue? Oh, it's actually over. Do you know what? Do you know what? Fair. Do you know what? Fair. I'll give him props. You actually got a genuine laugh at me. I wonder if it gets better or worse from here. So he wasn't a fan. I think it's fair to say 2 months before the game came out, wasn't a fan. But let's look at his next release, which was, hang on, how far was this? Hang on, let's see that. Hang on, I didn't check the timelines here. If it will load, we have 13th of February, and then 10 days later. Brother was on the grind. He was on the hater rock. Good yo. He saw that video pop off, and he was like, 62K. Bruv, I'm not gonna lie, even I would do that. 62K views? I'm making a follow-up, okay, in a week. Brother, it was on the grind. 10 years of Demeech, and he finally hit the big time. He was in on it. So 10 days later, we get a critical look at the Nintendo game Nintendo doesn't want you to see. Yes, the game Nintendo doesn't want you to see. One of their big releases of the year. Crazy Demeech. Almost as crazy as Aren giving me another 6 euros. Let's go. I forgot he hates free updates, meaning the game is unfinished. I think the general take on when Demeech does the whole it's unfinished thing is that while he's not wrong, he's definitely going about it the wrong way. Do you know? I think I saw, what was it? I watched one of those videos about Demeech, like as a bit of preparation. I don't think, but there was a screenshot in the video where I think Demeech kind of complained about the fact that when Scott the Woz talked about the 3 updates thing, people were like, oh my God, Scott, you're so right. But when Demeech spoke about it like a year before, people were like, fuck you, Demeech, fuck you, Demeech, fuck you, Demeech. Now, I don't know if Demeech was like playing that tongue-in-cheek or if he was genuinely upset that people were lauding Scott the Woz for saying it, but kind of condemning him for saying it. But I think it all just comes down to the messaging. I think when Scott mentions it in his videos, he kind of says it in a way that it doesn't sound cuntish. Is that fair to say? He sounds like he's not like on a crusade like you are. It all comes down to messaging, Demeech, and I hope that was a lesson to you. One that you probably didn't heed, but a lesson nonetheless. But either way, let's continue with a critical look at the game Nintendo doesn't want you to see. We'll start from the beginning. We'll see how it goes. If not, I wanted to play it from just here, but we'll play it from here. If it gets boring, we'll just skip ahead. I do agree with the unfinished stuff. No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's absolutely correct. It's just the way he goes about it is just like not the way I would. Like he makes it seem like he's on a crusade, like a holy crusade. Whereas Scott says it in one section when it's appropriate and then moves on. You know. Whereas like you can't go one Demeech video with him without him going, "People online, it's unfinished." You see, so it's just like, ew. Let's play.
Ever since Switch Sports was announced, I've been very skeptical of the game. I wasn't a fan of the Sportsmates replacing the Miis. And
of course you weren't, but what's worse, Demetrius takes off Vector the Crocodile. Might have to come back to you on that one.
The central location, Spacco Square, looked uninteresting, but the main criticism I have is that it's launching unfinished.
Probably Vector the Crocodile.
I've been told countless times, you can't judge a game until it's out. That is unless you say it looks good. You can't say it looks bad, but you are allowed to say it looks good.
God damn it, it's the people online. Demeech, no, already. We're like 1 minute, we're not even 1 minute. Frame one, brother. And he's already doing... I mean, 10 days later, he had to do it eventually, right? He had to do it eventually. You could say that a game's good, but you know, it's bad. It's like, yes. Excellent observation, Demeech. When you say game good and people are part of the hype cycle, everyone's gonna like it. Yes. This is why people got pissy at that IGN review about Brothership. Like, regardless of how... That guy could have been 100% right about his Brothership review, but it doesn't matter because everyone was on the hype cycle, so it was like, fuck you, IGN guy. Fuck you, says the fuck you guy to the IGN guy. That's how it goes. Demeech, what was this? 2022... Do I give him a pass? I don't know if I give him a pass, chat. He was, what, 23? Should he have known better? I don't know. I was thinking it was people online that made him that made him make the sequel instead of the views. That's really funny. Do you think... That's actually a tough one. Because, like, for me, if you're telling me businessman musty, right? If I made a video, like, if one of my next couple of uploads gets, like, 63,000 views, I'm making a follow-up in a week, right? I'm going to try and... I'm gonna make the editors work overtime. Sponge, get in the trenches. One of my Galaxy videos popped up. Let's make another. The people want to see more. But, like, for him... does he even do this for the money? That's actually a very good point. I don't even know. Oh my god, he's probably doing it for the love of the game. He just loves fighting in the trenches. Amazing. Keep fighting, brother. Let's keep going.
A Twitter bus unum.
Oh. The moment we unpaused. The frame we unpaused. Good lord, can we see that again?
It looks bad, but you are allowed to say it looks good. A Twitter bus unum. Regardless, I was able to participate in the playtest. Nintendo said you could not...
He's doing it because he doesn't like to use Twitter, so he argues from a video. Is that even worse? I want to say that's even worse, because it's like, just fight your battles on Twitter. But at the same time, it's like, he's made a video and it's monetizing it, so who's really the idiot? It's not about the money, Misty. It's about the money, Spider-Man. It's always about the money, okay? Doing it for the love of the game doesn't pay the bills, Phoenix, okay? You're like 12, okay? You still live off, Mom, can I buy new people? That was mean, I apologize. But not really.
Share footage of the game, so that's why I'm using footage from Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. But it did strike me as odd. This didn't apply to any of the other playtests, such as the ones for Splatoon or Mario Tennis Aces.
I see the gold dangle,
The only
by the way.
one it applied to was the Mario Kart Tour beta test, but that made more sense because it was a closed beta test, where Switch Sports was an open play test. So this likely means one of two things. Nintendo's rules have become stricter, or they're hiding something. And I assume the latter. So the question...
Yes, everything, billions must conspiracy. Everything must be a conspiracy, gamers. It's all crazy. We've got all crazy gamers. Nanomachines. Like Spongy with his first super chat. Sponge, my boy, thank you. Help me once. Also, let me out the basement. Listen, okay. We got Pokemon content to make. Okay, get out of here.
Question is, was that the case? I will always be honest with you, even if my first impressions were wrong. I'm willing to admit that I actually really enjoyed Paper Mario the Origami King, and was wrong about it being Sticker Star 3. 3 sports were playable in the demo, being tennis, chambara, sword fighting, and my personal favorite, bowling. I got to play all of them, and the first one I played was swordplay, so we'll be taking a look at that first.
How does
There
it
were
stack
3
up,
different
brother?
play styles to choose from: dual swords, a charged sword, or a single sword. My favorites were the dual swords. They were the most fun to use, and I feel they controlled the best. The gameplay is very similar to how it was in Wii Sports Resort, better even. The motion controls are more precise, and you get feedback with the rumble, making the game even more immersive. From a gameplay perspective, it was fun and worked well. Even if a Nintendo game is bad or mediocre, the general gameplay is usually solid, so I assumed it would also apply to the other sports.
Does it
Tennis
now?
played just how I expected it to. It feels just like it did in Wii Sports. Out of all the sports featured in Wii Sports, tennis is my least favorite. That's not to say it's bad, but it's more
Is that a hot take? Yeah, I don't really like tennis that much, I'm gonna be honest. Wasn't really too big on it.
basic than other sports, such as golf and bowling. And speaking of, bowling is easily the sport I was most excited to play. It's by far the sport I played the most in Wii Sports. It also seems that it's the most popular sport for most people as well. The thing that made bowling so much fun in Wii Sports is that it's very close to how bowling is played in real life, the main difference being using a Wii remote instead of a heavy ball to play it. In Wii Sports, bowling was more straightforward. It played well, but the sequel Wii Sports Resort made the motion controls more accurate. It would pick
So he likes bowling, guys. Could you tell? I like the Hawaiian shirt thing you got on your me there, Demeech. In the same way I like that. Hasbro, he's evolved into a Goldengo, guys. No way. But thank you, Hasbro, for upgrading your membership, brother. It's far too kind. You're far too kind. I like tennis. You see, of course you like it, Castle. So let's get into the part where you talk about his issues. What's the issue? What's wrong with this game, though, Demeech? That's what we need to know. What's wrong with this game? Bowling worst one. Message deleted by Alfonso. Keep it up, brother. Keep it up.
Considering how I've been mostly positive about what I've played, but there are two issues that still do not sit well with me. The omission of Miis have been a heavily discussed issue. mainly because the new characters, the
Sportsmate, guys.
look unappealing.
Sportsmate's bad. Sportsmate's bad. My childhood will never be quenched. We must keep the Miis. Billions must make Miis. Even at the time, I'm not gonna lie. Even at the time, like, this was one of those things where I saw it and I'm just like, oh, bit weird that people are complaining about this, but I moved on. But Demeech was like, no. He took it personally. He took it very, very, very personally. Be honest with you guys. This is a safe space. I won't make fun of you. I'll make a little bit of fun of you. How pissed were you guys actually? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, when you saw that like the sportsmates were like kind of like the new ones, you know? Because like for me, like I was just like, it's a bit weird. I was definitely like, oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Like a 2, maybe a 1 even, maybe a 1.5. I did a 1.5 out of 10. I was like, it's a bit weird. It definitely was, but I'm not like losing any sleep. I was just kind of like, you know. So it's like 7. Look at my profile picture, nerd. 7, really? Back with the really? 4 out of 10, 3s and 4s, mostly low scores. Didn't care. Plus, you can play as Miis anyway. I feel like I was the only one on the internet that didn't care. I didn't think it was weird. Don't get me wrong. I still don't really like the designs that much. Where's the still frame? Yeah, I don't really fuck with these designs. If I'm being honest, they're just kind of. I'm not gonna fucking cry over it, you know? Definitely not gonna. The next console doesn't have customization, style similar. The Mii should be scrapped entirely. I think it should, you're right. I think that was my game theory. I think the Switch 2, I don't think they're gonna keep the Miis. That's my game theory. And I'm gonna be very disappointed if I'm actually right. This went out first, but okay when I saw him in the game. Yes. But Demeech, she's very upset. Tell us, Demeech, why are you so upset?
Characters, the sportsmates, look unappealing, and I can say confidently that my opinion of the sportsmates has changed after playing the game.
Has it?
They're worse than I imagined.
Really?
I don't like the sportsmates only because they're not Miis.
Really?
They are poorly designed characters.
How so?
All of them have a very similar look, and honestly, they look like the characters you'd find in the countless shovelware Wii games. If you were to tell me this was a 2K Wii Sports ripoff, I'd believe you without a doubt. Damn. There's nothing wrong with the Miis.
He's hitting it with the blind
I've seen
allegations.
some comments saying Miis are obsolete because it's 2022. But what the heck?
Who is I wish I brought some alcohol, chat. I really wish I would have taken a shot for every for every weird, like, who said this? At least show me a tweet, Demeech. At least if you go people online, show me the tweet. Because I don't believe you. You're boxing shadows, brother. You're boxing shadows. Who said this? Who said this to me? Who hurt you? Who hurt you, Demeech?
I've seen some comments saying Miis are obsolete
Where?
because it's 2022. But what the heck was Miitopia last year? The poor presentation isn't just limited to the sportsmates. The game takes place in a central location, being Spacco Square.
I didn't buy that considering the tennis ace history. That was funny. Okay, Castle, that was funny. I don't know why you have that. I don't know why you hate me, Castle. I was about to say Demeech. I don't know why you hate me, Castle. That was a funny stream. Okay, you hate me, don't you? You don't like that stream, therefore you hate me.
It had Woohoo Island. Not only did it tie everything together, but it's a creative and interesting location. Spacco Square, on the other hand, is anything but.
What makes you say that?
Look like they take place in a shopping mall or a convention center. Let's take a look at Swordplay and Resort. This setting makes it even more fun. You have a stadium full of spectators, and if you fall, you get plunged into the ocean. Falling into a pool in Switch Sports is nowhere near as fun to look at. The location also doesn't make much sense, because
I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the island setting is definitely cooler. But I quite like this aesthetic too. I like this idea that the sports are played in an area where like people just like have like normal everyday things going on. I think there's definitely something quite aesthetically pleasing about that as well. If I had to choose one or the other, I'm always choosing the island. But yeah, it's just like someone's like chilling here in a cafe, and you look out the window, and some fucking guys playing Chambara. Like, is that not a little quirky? I quite like that. Island's definitely better though.
Because when I think of sword fighting, I think of a sword fight right in front of a Macy's.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I don't know, this is kind of funny.
Sports did not have a central location, but the sports took place in locations that made sense. You had a bowling alley for bowling, a tennis court for tennis.
Yeah, but like, oh, Demeech, you're so... Man, you're thinking in 2010, bro. You got to think in 3010 like me, all right? Would it not be cool to be shopping at Macy's? You look down the street and you see some... Like, that's what happens whenever I go to... There's like a mall in East London called Westfield Stratford. And there's this like big area in the middle of the mall that's dedicated to like whatever the fuck you want, basically. Like sometimes a company will hire it out and like make like some sort of promo thing. There's usually like something happening there. And sometimes if I'm going there to do some shopping, like I'll peer over because there's like usually all the shopping stuff's on like the first floor and it's like on the ground floor. So sometimes I'll just like peer over and see if I hear sounds. Sometimes I'll just see if something's going on. It's kind of cool to me. Just kind of cool. I think you're being mean, Demeech. Just like black fella when he says, Demeech be waffling more than my wife. Listen, I prefer pancakes, okay? Leave your wife alone.
In a stadium for baseball, why Nintendo decided to...
You think Demeech wants to make... Listen, see, Alfonso, 10 minutes of Demeech.
The already established Mii's in Woohoo Island, only to replace them with poorly designed characters in a boring central location, is beyond me. Another thing that I noticed about the presentation is that the game does not have personality. When you play bowling in Wii Sports, you'd often hear things like nice spare and great throw, but here, everything is oversimplified, and you know very well how I feel about oversimplified design.
Oh, he's one of those. Oh no, he's one of those. Oh no, Demeech, no! No! No, Demeech, no! I remember there was like definitely like a wave of like those. I hate the oversimplified logos, Andes. Don't get me wrong, dude. Some of those like kind of suck, yeah, but like. Are you really getting that pressed over a brand? This feels like uniquely American to me in like a very strange way, if that makes sense. That's not to imply that people in the UK aren't married to their brands, but like, if Greggs is a national institution here in the UK, right? If Greggs was to disappear, I would be like unbelievably upset. If they changed their logo to something I didn't like, it'd be like, oh, that's gross. Do you still do a sausage roll for like a reasonable price though? Do you know what I mean? It's like, would it be a little pressed, I suppose? But Pringles, you're really simping over Pringles, Demeech. Pringles, yes, because they care if their stop set line goes down when Demeech hates on Pringles. That it goes. Is that goes £1 for a sausage roll, Demeech. That's all that matters in this world. If it stays £1, they can change their logo to whatever they want. They can do an MS Paint Comic Sans, all right? He has a really popular. If it does it, do we put that in the bonus? We're gonna put that in the Demeech bonus. Okay, we hit the super chat goal. Super chat goal, guys. An additional bonus. We'll watch his oversimplification video. Do you know what? I feel like Demeech is the kind of person who goes to Greggs and buys a sausage. No, not a sausage roll. He'll buy a pizza from Greggs, and he'll be like, "Why'd you guys big up Greggs so much? The pizza sucked." I'm like, "What are you? You go there for a sausage roll, mate? You go there for a steak bake, lad? Demeech, what are you doing? What are you doing?" I can't believe this. The Costco hot dog stays one. See, I'm more fixated on the price, you know? When Freddos go up from 20p to 25p, like, I want to die. I genuinely want to leave this earth. But if Greggs changed the logo, I'd be like, that's a bit weird, isn't it? But then I'm moving on. The pizza's goated. You're not going to Greggs for the pizza. I'm not arguing this with you. I'm not arguing with this with Chili Green of all people. Chili Green. I'm not arguing this with you. All right? You don't go to Greggs for the pizza. You go there for a sausage roll.
But I could at least somewhat forgive the presentation if my worst nightmare wasn't present in the game. The game is launching in an unfinished state. You won't be able to play soccer with the included leg strap until the summer, and if you want to play golf, you'll have to wait until the fall to enjoy yourself a round of golf. I assume Nintendo didn't want footage of the game to be shown because of this, but honestly,
go get a steak
the foundation for a good game is here. It wasn't buggy or broken, but the fact that it's launching with only 5 sports fully playable is infuriating to say the least. I'll probably sit this one out, just like I did for Mario Golf Super Rush. You'll often see Nintendo's self-employed lawyers on Twitter more concerned about the
self-employed lawyers on Twitter? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. If you are gonna do people online, that was actually a fire line. I'll give you that. There's self-employed lawyers on Twitter. I've never heard that one before. That's actually quite fire. I'll give you that. In the same way that Ocean. Oh, I don't think that's how you pronounce it. I don't think it's pronounced Ocean. I think it's pronounced a different way, right? It's an Irish name. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but thank you so much. This is to buy you a Greggs steak, mate. Thank you. I'm gonna need that tomorrow when I'm at work. Good lord, I'm gonna need it. It's a fucking long shift tomorrow. Greggs pepperoni grease is groated. Yeah, but you're not. What's like an equivalent? I need an equivalent, chat. Like, it's nice, but that's not the main reason you go there, you know? Like, I'm not going to Greggs saying, pizza time. Like, I'm not doing that. It's for a sausage roll or a steak bake. And if they're out of steak bakes, I'll get a cheese and onion bake. And if they're out of that, If they're out of all three of those, I'm just leaving. Oshin, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I had a feeling I wasn't pronouncing it right. So I need to use that line. I need to use self-employed lawyers on Twitter. That's actually a banger line.
Rush. You'll often see Nintendo's self-employed lawyers on Twitter more concerned about the definition of an unfinished game more than the actual problem.
Okay, oh, man. Yeah, but I think I said this before in his other... It bears repeating for a small amount, but yeah, I think you can be right. And here's a bit of advice for all of you guys. This is a bit like genuine good piece, so mostly life advice, sagely advice from a 30-year-old. It doesn't matter how right you are if you can't convey your ideas. It legitimately does not matter. It doesn't matter how correct you are. It doesn't matter whether you have the right ideas. If you cannot explain them, it's useless. It's functionally useless. It's basically like you don't know. And that's something that Demeech, unfortunately, at least at this point, maybe he has now, but that's something that at this point Demeech hasn't come to the conclusion of. Because you could be 100% right, but people will just say fuck you anyways if they don't like the way you said it. And even if they like the way you said it, sometimes you might not explain it in a way that makes sense. You have to be able to explain. That's why I like using examples. Examples are perfect. Because like comparing something to, or at least making it analogous to something else that someone might understand, is a perfect way to convey a point, Demeech. So it doesn't matter how right you are. When you say the games are unfinished, I know what you mean. But when people say, no, it is finished, it's literally finished, and then you get into an argument over semantics as opposed to arguing the actual point, which is the free updates model kind of fucking sucks. Which is the real point you want to make, but you're not making it. Instead, you're having this semantic argument, which is why Scott the Was, when he says it, gets to, yeah, you know what, Scott, I think Scott the Was the person who made me discover this free updates thing. I didn't like put it together, but like he put it together, like, yeah, they just release them like 80% done, do the other 30% later, and then complain, whoa, no one's playing the game, so then they bin it instead of keeping it updated. It's like, yeah, that kind of sucks, you know? So it's like, you gotta learn, Demeech. Hopefully you learn now, maybe, I don't know. Hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, I hope so. Same with me, chat. You can be right and still be an arsehole. Be respectful and nuanced. Thank you, Carsform. You weren't being respectful and nuanced last stream when you kept saying LLL skibbity. That was very mean of you, but I appreciate that. Nonetheless, I go to a pizza because it's cheaper, smaller alternative to it. Yeah, I don't know, Hasbro. This is where we don't see eye to eye, brother. Okay, you go there for a sausage roll. That's it.
You can call it unfinished, light in content, half-baked, whatever you want to call it. But regardless of what you want to call it, Nintendo is screwing over consumers. I will never forget how ripped off I felt after getting Mario Tennis Aces, and that's why I only buy games that I'm 100% sure are good and complete at launch. So what do you guys think?
So it's funny you say this, Demeech, knowing that there's like 4 other videos for us to cover. Yeah, you know what? I've taken a critical look, and I'm not going to be buying it. It makes 4 videos anyway. Crazy.
Did you play the Switch Sports demo? And what do you think of it? Anyways, thanks for watching, and keep calm.
Crazy, brother. I think you should call them incomplete games instead. Unfinished implies they get you in bucket. Yes, exactly. See, Rend Alpha Eagle, he might have paid €6. But he didn't need €6 to... His knowledge is priceless. You see what I did there, Rend Alpha Eagle? You see what I did there? I'm a genius. The Mario Strikers updates really fucked me off. On top of the gameplay completely shift to online and chaining rather passing. The rough and tumble gameplay of Charge just killed it. Yeah, definitely. I think the gameplay changes definitely is not what Strikers Battle League needed. 100%. We'll save that for another conversation. We'll focus on Switch Sports today, but I definitely know what you mean, though, Hasbro. I agree with all of that. And if I was to get into it, I could talk about it for like fucking 7 hours. But either way, that's what you thought about this. So then now, I think now the game is out, right? Or at least 10th of April. Hang on, when did it? One more time, chat. Refresh my memory. Switch Sports release date. 29. So the game's still not out yet, but Demeech is still in the trenches, gamers. He's still in the trenches because somebody, I'm guessing, reacted to somebody made a video entitled "Stop Complaining About Switch Sports," and Demeech took personal umbrage with that. Of course, he's on the grind. He's on the absolute grind set. 12k views again on a live stream as well. On a live streamed VOD, 12k views. It's pretty crazy. Demeech. So we watched a bit of this last time. So I just want to see. I want to see what he says. I remember this initial bit. We'll watch this initial bit again because we saw it last time. But this initial bit was kind of funny. Chat. Let's listen again.
Out in only 2 weeks as of the time of me writing.
Also, the background noise is entirely Demeech. I'll turn it up a little. Yeah, the background noise is entirely Demeech, by the way, not me. Leave me alone.
We're excited. I and many others have been clamoring for some type of Wii Sports continuation, and this seems like it's going to be very high quality. The only problem is that a lot of people seem to not like this game for one reason or another. So, let's get into why you should stop whining about Nintendo Switch Sports.
Now, but anyway, guys, Demeech. We're dealing with Demeech, okay? This is Demeech who makes titles like the game that Nintendo doesn't want you to see. The Nintendo fixed their worst Switch games. Remember, guys, this is the guy who makes video titles like that. So when somebody says, this is why you should stop complaining about Switch Sports, what does... You think Demeech understands, like, oh, you know, he's just being a bit exaggeratory for the sake of content, right? The same way I am. Do you think Demeech will say that? Or do you think he'll say this?
Okay. That had to be one of the most conceited things I've heard.
Really, Demeech? Glass houses, brother. That is crazy. That is so crazy.
Why you should stop complaining about Switch Sports.
Yeah, really. Do you really think Nintendo doesn't want me to say this game, Demeech? A game that's yet to be released. It's actually crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, we saw this before, but yeah, it's so crazy. It's the coolest coming from inside the house. It's unreal. But don't get me wrong, it doesn't. It's a banger title as well. Stop complaining about Switch Sports. Here's why you shouldn't care. Like, I think even if I get ruthless businessman so musty, when you make imperative claims like that, it intrigues the viewer. They're like, hang on, I should stop complaining about it? Why? It makes someone invested to watch the rest of your video. It could be a powerful technique if used correctly. But Demeech takes a lot of umbrage with this.
Criticisms of the game, but I'm not going to tell you how to feel about it. I'm going to share my opinion, and it's up to you if you disagree or agree.
Having watched a bunch of your videos, Demeech, I don't believe you when you say this. You might think that's how you present your videos, but having watched more of your content than a person I ever would have, I don't believe you when you say this. You clearly have a conclusion that you've drawn to at the start of your research, and you spend the entire video coming to that conclusion. I think it's one of your greatest drawbacks, that's what you do. It's very unfortunate, honestly. Like, take me, for example. I'm glazing myself here, guys, self-glaze. But when I played Brothership, I knew about the IGN review. I haven't read it yet. We're going to read that soon. But I knew about the IGN review. So obviously I was like, oh, I really hope this game actually isn't mid. But I went with it with an open, obviously having a nostalgia. But I obviously went into it thinking, I hope it isn't mid. I hope it isn't mid. If it was, then yeah, I would sadly have to agree with the IGN guy. But I don't. The game is actually really fucking good. So fuck you, IGN guy. But for me, I went into it thinking either conclusion could be correct, right? Either the IGN guy was right all along and he's secretly an underrated gem, or he was just a bitter old man and sucks eggs. But with you, it feels like you hate a thing or you like a thing, therefore, and everything stems from that. That seems to be how you present your videos. And gonna be honest, Demeech, I think seeing someone else kind of do the same thing, or at least feels like doing the same thing, it's kind of you're projecting, little Demeech. You're projecting your insecurities on someone else, Demeech. I can't believe you would do this. Why would Demeech do this? Why would Slurpy Dog give $4.99? That's crazy. Thank you so much. Well, I don't know why he specifically highlights Aces when it's easily the least affected by the free update model, mostly because the games were pretty good at launch. Crazy, huh? Can't spell IGN without ignorant. Shut up. It's almost as if, again, he has a conclusion and just wants to. You guys are tuned. You guys really want bonus to me each? I love how half of you guys. I got so many comments, loads of them. People online were telling me, Musty, you have to stop doing Demeech December. You have to let it go, Musty. Why are we still watching this clown? And you guys are just super chatting over and over and over again. I'm being gaslit by my own community. People online, I'm telling you. Thank you so much. Demeech, I've proven to be completely biased despite Demeech claiming to be neutral. I think so. Having watched a lot, I don't think this is a claim I would make if I only watched 1 or 2 Demeech videos. But again, having watched like 8 or 9 Demeech videos, I think it's evidently clear that he comes to the conclusion first and then spends the rest of the video proving it. I think the silver bullet, if you wanted a silver bullet, I think his Power World versus Switch Sports, Power World versus Scarlet and Violet has to be the worst one. Because I think he only included the comparison of story just to give the Scarlet and Violet a point, and that is all he did. He literally, the whole video from the outset was to just glaze Power World, but he pretended as if it was some neutral debate. It was a kangaroo court at best. And I think that video really comes across. Jesus fucking Christ, what's happening in my life? Good Lord, what is happening in here? 5 gifters from Sami Sailor. A fellow GBA Andy. I would expect nothing less from a fellow GBA Andy. Thank you so very much. Thank you, guys. If you got a gift, you better fucking say thank you. I'll say thank you on their behalf. Slime Dromeda, Senator, you were lurking in my new super stream. You better say thank you. I know you're there. Icarus2964, Coma Treatment, and Smoke Sanji. Smoke Sanji, you better be here as well. You better be here, okay? You better say thank you right now. I will say thank you on their behalf. Thank you so much, Sammy Sailor, for the 5 gifters. Much appreciated. And Hasbro package after Demeech the Jamboree January. I will be buying it in January, and I will be doing some games. Maybe a tournament. I don't know. I'm thinking of some things. Maybe Albert. This will be finally the thing that me and Albert Boris collab on. Me versus Albert Boris. Mario Jamboree. Be there or be square in 2025. Right, let's continue from where we left off, which is, yeah, he's very upset at this person saying here's why you should stop playing Switch Sports.
You're allowed to have your own opinion, but why you should stop complaining about Switch Sports? Okay, then I'm gonna tell you to stop being excited for it. That is one of the most pretentious things I've heard all day.
Really, Demeech?
My goodness.
Really?
Well, actually, I just got up not even an hour ago, so I guess...
Really, Demeech? You only got up at it. This Sigma Demeech wakes up, gets out of bed, brushes his teeth, immediately finds a hater immediately finds someone to hate on. Like, at least with me, like, I usually get some editing done. I go to the gym. I get some shopping done. I did the dishes. I did my vacuum the house, put out some laundry. Got a little bit of a workout in. I did my hair up for you guys. I got my Plankton shirt as well. Made sure this was ready. You know, the Make It Stop Plankton shirt. If you guys haven't seen it, I got it ready. He was eat, sleep, hate, repeat. That's literally the Demeech life.
That's really not a high bar to cross.
It's as the vast majority of people seem to have a problem with them in particular.
Yeah, people do have an issue with the sports mates, but I'd love to hear his argument for them.
Okay.
And almost
If I was gonna, defend, who is this guy, by the way? I'm gonna just quickly just find the channel, because I want to see who made this video. So yeah, you made this video. Let's just have a quick look at Pie Man's comments, guys. I should have to say this, but please don't harass anyone in the comments. Someone went out the way to fake screenshots of sick. Oh my god, hang on, gamers. Where's the music? Bravo 6. What the fuck? So they're fake screenshots of Demeech saying things he didn't say, and it's ridiculous. Me and Demeech and I are cool, and there's no need to harass anybody over it. What the fuck? What the hell happened here? People were faking screenshots of Demeech? Good lord.
well, I say almost because you can still play as Mii's in the game. So, if you can still play as Mii's, why are people complaining?
True.
A lot of people point out that the Mii's aren't
Okay, people are
Demeech, here you go. Give me the Demeech argument. Go, Demeech, go!
complaining because the proportions of the Mii's really don't suit the characters well. It pretty much...
Really? Like graphic designer Demeech? What makes you say that? I just think they look kind of don't get... I think that's good. Demeech trying to do that thing where he sounds a lot smarter than he actually is. Like, just say the simple answer, which is they just kind of look a bit weird. That's it.
much just looks like you're throwing a Mii head onto a sportsmate's body. That's what it's like, and they're not they're not the focus of the game. He does go in a little bit of detail about that, but there's a reason why people are upset that Mii's aren't the focus, because with the Wii series specifically, pretty much every Wii game has Mii's at the forefront. Let's see, we got Wii Sports, Wii Play.
Okay, he's gonna count off. He's gonna count them all up. If we're being really technical, though, chat. If we're being really technical, Switch Sports isn't a Wii Sports game. It's a Switch Sports game. So I think the rebranding to Sports makes doesn't really that kind of quote unquote makes sense. If that makes sense. Like if this was called Wii Sports Switch and they use the Sports makes, okay, it's okay. What the fuck are we doing here? It's called Switch Sports. Switch Sports. Switch.
With the Wii series.
No, don't get technical. Then his point was shut up. My main issue is that they're out. Is mostly because they're out of the way. If they're on the box out with the funny little guys, it wouldn't have been a major issue. Yeah, I know, Taylor. I think you're a bit too invested in your childhood, Taylor. Do you know what's going to happen, Taylor? In 5 years' time, there's going to be the generation B, because we're on Gen Alpha, right? Gen A. Gen B is going to come out, and they're going to be like, "What the fuck is a Mii? I don't know what that is." And you're going to be like, "I'm so old. My back. Oh my god." Yeah. Then you're going to feel old, Taylor. That's what's going to happen.
It's kind of like if they had a Mario game without Mario characters. Or to make it more relatable, it's like Metroid Prime Federation Force, where the focus isn't on Samus, but the mech characters. I'm not sure if they're even from Metroid Prime.
They are. They're part of the Galactic Federation. But that being said, at least with the Switch Sports, it's just the Mii's aren't part of the marketing. They're still in the game. It'd be different if Metroid... I haven't played Metroid Prime Federation Force, but it would be like if the Galactic Federation was on the box art, but like Samus was still in the game, but in the back burner. But like in the Federation Force, she's not even in the game at all. You know, so it's like I think that's not the best comparison. What do you say to myself?
You guys, please let me know because I'm not sure where those characters are from in Federation Force. The mechs, I think that's what they're called. Yeah, they do look like shovelware.
They're just part of the
Wii
Galactic
Chess has no
Federation.
Miis? Okay, Wii Chess.
Oh god. Just as a tip to Demeech, listen, don't get like well actuallys. Like if anything, if you guys want to know what, oh, Musty, am I your favorite chatter? No, none of you guys are my favorite. But you know who I hate the most? It's those ones that go, well, actually, Musty, here's, and then insert point that's completely useless to my overall point. You guys are the worst, okay? I hope you step on a Lego. But Demeech is getting one guide by those guys. At least when I get one guide by Kappa saying you're yapping in British, Musty, it was funny to ban him, okay? You gotta ban him, Demeech. You gotta start banning people.
That is the exception, but considering how obscure Wii Chess is, that's not a standard to go by.
Well, we're being really technical again. We're being really technical. You mentioned that all the Wii games had all of them had Miis. So if one doesn't that kind of like delete your point? So if one game cannot have the Miis, then surely Switch Sports not focusing on the Miis would be like fair game, right? The trend is broken. So is it not fair that Switch Demeech? Your own point was completely upended by a random chatter. That could never be me. Like, I'm just saying that could never be me. When I make a point and chat member goes, well, actually, I disagree. That's how it goes. Well, actually, Mister, you're awesome. Thank you, Phantom. You're far too kind. Phantom, you're so nice to. That's actually very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh,
I will say that maybe I exaggerated saying that was pretentious a little bit.
You did,
but
he's having his like post clarity. He's like, oh yeah, maybe I was a bit too mean before.
I don't like it. I don't like how people try to block criticism. I like the game, so that means you have to as well.
The main focus, which is 100% true, I will admit, but
okay, good. He is admitting.
Hang on, one second, I didn't hear that.
The main focus, which is 100% true, I will admit.
Yeah.
But
okay, good. He is admitting and understanding how people are criticizing the game.
Why would they? These characters.
Why would they? Okay.
Yeah. Let him finish, Demeech. Listen, I let you finish your point. Don't pause Andy him. Let him finish his point.
Over 50
okay,
years
okay.
They clearly don't fit into Nintendo's branding of the Switch.
Yeah, it doesn't fit into their branding of the Switch because back in the Wii era, Nintendo actually used to try with their games. They didn't release stuff like Mario Tennis Aces without a stage select and Mario Golf Super Rush without a difficulty toggle for the computer players. I will say Switch does have some great games. I'm looking.
Is that really? I think, if anything, I'm glad this live stream exists because this is listen to it again, chat. Listen to it again. Listen to what he says again. One more time.
Yeah.
Listen again. Just listen carefully.
And clearly don't fit into Nintendo's branding.
Hang on. I'll let him. Like, Pi has to have his point, and then Demeech. Just listen. Let's listen one more time.
Understanding how people are criticizing the game.
From here.
These characters.
Why would they?
Huh?
Okay.
Over 15 years old and clearly don't fit into Nintendo's branding of the Switch.
Yeah, it doesn't fit into their branding of the Switch because back in the Wii era, Nintendo actually used to try with their games. They didn't release stuff like.
You see that? Demeech's point is Nintendo used to try with their games, right? So Demeech has already come to the conclusion. So now he has to. It's the Demeech cycle, guys. He had his conclusion. Nintendo era in the Wii was better than it is now. So Demeech, can you give me some starring examples? Like, what's like your silver bullet? Give me your silver bullet.
Mario Tennis Aces without a stage select and Mario Golf Super Rush without a difficulty toggle for the computer players.
That's your silver bullet. That's your silver bullet, Demeech. If you were really gonna make this point, that's your silver bullet. Really? Really? For me, if you're asking me how I would make this point, I would say, oh, like, you know, the classic, the free update model versus the we're going to finish the game now model. That would be the best point you could make as to, if I had to make the argument of the Wii era was like Nintendo at the best of the Switch, I would say, yeah, the best point you could bring up is the free update model as a whole. When you specifically pick one or two things, It just makes it seem like you're really gonna poo-poo the entire Switch era because of a fucking difficulty select or a stage select screen. Doesn't that seem a bit more unhinged? But when I say the free updates model that's like kind of plagued a lot of games made the Switch era just feel a lot more, at least the ancillary Switch games, which is the sports games, feel a lot less complete than they actually should have been. Whereas in the original Wii era, they were a lot more complete and more feature complete. That would have been a much more better point to make, Demeech. But you already came with the conclusion, and you had to, because it's a live stream and you can't like just write your thoughts down, it's like worm your way to some sort of conclusion that wasn't the best point you could have made. It's the Demeech cycle. It's literally the Demeech cycle. We found it, gamers. We have found the Demeech cycle. I love Nintendo 9. I broke free there for a moment. I did see your donor. Thank you again, Slappy. I appreciate that. But yeah, like I think we just caught it in real time. I wonder if he's going to do it again. That's actually crazy that we caught that in a live stream. The blood is gas signs. Mario honestly didn't know. See, I think if I play it right now, I think he's going to backtrack the point slightly. I think he is. Hang on.
I will say Switch does have some great games.
Now he realizes. Hang on, that sounds a bit shit. Let me. This is why you gotta be careful when you're like, don't get me wrong, I've made this mistake. I don't want to fault Demeech too much for that specifically because making grandiose statements just feels kind of fun. It is, don't get me wrong. But yeah, when you're a live stream, you wanna make sure your words stick a bit more, you know? So you gotta like make sure you only say things that you can really back up, you know? Otherwise, your words kind of are meaningless. If you immediately say the Switch era was bad and you immediately backtrack, it's like, why would I believe you if you say anything anyway? You know, it's a boy who cried wolf situation too much. So you gotta be careful. I try to be. Sometimes I'm not perfect, obviously. Sometimes I'm guilty. Sometimes I'm guilty, of course. But I'm not Demeech, okay? So that means that I'm so mercy, so I'm good and Demeech is bad. That's how this works. Found out how the cogs turn. Let's go.
I'm looking at the list right here. I could easily tell you that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Super Mario Maker 2, those are very high quality. Well, Mario Kart 8 is too, but that's a port. I will say, I'll just go in a chronological order with my favorite Switch games because there are many games that I do love. So,
okay.
Starting off, not including any ports or anything, Breath of the Wild.
I'm not going to fault him too much for sidebarring since I do that a lot, but it's a bit of a weird sidebar. I don't know what your favorite Switch games has to do with the video, but I'm guilty of that
It's
too.
released on the same day on the Wii U, but even I don't see that as a Wii U game. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Super Mario Odyssey, which is my favorite Mario game ever made, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Super Mario Maker 2, I was gonna say Yoshi's Crafted World. People seem to not like that game, but I really liked it.
Oh.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh, true.
Paper Mario the Origami King, as a reviewer, I'm always going to be honest, despite my personal opinion with some things. I think it's well designed, but I really don't like what it stands for. It pretty much says, hey, we heard your criticisms, we know better than you. Here's more paper jokes. And then going in.
I can't really speak to this because I'm not really a Paper Mario guy, but something tells me he's doing like the conspiracy thing again, but I don't have enough evidence to refute that.
In 2021, we had new Pokemon Snap, WarioWare Get It Together, Metroid Dread, Mario Party Superstars.
Don't tell us.
And this year we had some really great games.
We get it.
Like the
put the reaction in the bag, little bro. Let's go.
Oversimplistic look of a lot of casual Switch games. But let's hear more, shall we?
Yeah.
The games that support them have shrunk in number over the years. Hell, there's not even an icon on the home screen.
Me when my paper game is made out of paper.
Yeah, there's not even an option to use additional themes other than the basic ones. And yeah, the Switch menu, that's not even an indicator to explain why the Mii's are gone.
Hang on, one more time? I missed that entirely, my bad.
The home screen to make a Mii. Them have shrunk in number over the years. Hell, there's not even an icon on the home screen to make a Mii. You have to
Yeah, there's not even an option to use additional themes other than the basic ones. And yeah, the Switch menu, that's not even an indicator to explain why the Mii's are gone.
But it kind of is, though. Like, the fact that on the main menu of the Wii, the Mii channel was right there, but on the main menu of the Switch, the Mii's aren't there, indicates that they don't really care about the Mii's as much as they used to. Have we gone into the Demeech zone? Like, what the hell is that? I'm sorry, like, Jake the Snake just said, his argument is literally just, nuh-uh. That's literally what it is. What are you Yes. Just boot up a Switch and then boot up a Wii. One game has them in the main menu. The other We're in the Demeech zone, guys. We're in the Demeech zone. He's hitting us with Demeech hypnosis. That's what we're doing. Ooh, you're wrong because I said so. Man, I didn't think we'd spend this long criticizing this stream, but this is funny. Let's keep going, chat. Let's keep going for a bit more.
Into the profile picture setting just to find the option.
Alright, catch up. Which one is the propaganda video? The response to the response, or stop whining about Switch Sports?
Getting back to Sportsmates though, why do people dislike them? Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Okay, I could tell you why.
Okay.
He does respond to other YouTube videos about why people don't like Sportsmates and Switch Sports, obviously, but the thing is, people like the Miis because you can customize them. They're designed to be you, hence why they're called Miis.
Can you not, guys? Can I get a VAR check? I paused Andy Demeech. I'm gonna admit it right now. I have paused Andy Demeech, but I want a quick check from the chat. You can customize the Sportsmates, right? Let's continue his point.
These Sportsmates, if you look at the trailers and such, there's one section in the second one where they're playing a round of soccer. They all look very similar to one another. These
Are we back in the Demeech zone, guys? Maybe a colorblind. This guy's pink and this guy's blue. This guy's black. This guy's white. You could maybe say the customization isn't as good as the Mii's. That'd be a fair criticism, but that's not what you're saying, though. We're in the Demeech zone, guys. Please make sure you've got your respirators on, okay? The air is getting really thick in here, all right?
These aren't appealing-looking characters. I'm guessing the reason why the Sportsmates took over is because they're trying to cash in on Animal Crossing, because they look a little bit like the villagers. So
we really on the I've never heard that conspiracy. Guys, have you heard that conspiracy before? Good. Now, I did have my ear to the ground a little bit when the original Switch Sports, hate was kind of building up. I did not see this, though. I did not see this. This is new to me. This is like max the meat spiracy. Maximum this the meat spiracy right now. The customization is really limited. You only get like 5 hairstyles for the. No, but that's not the point Demeech is making, though, Minister Chicken. In all fairness, that's probably the point he wants to make, but that's not the point he's making, though. But here's the thing, though. Demeech will make his points extremely poorly, and then complain to Twitter, also complain to us that Twitter's taking him out of context. He didn't say the customization is quite poor in this. That's not what he said. Instead, he said they look like they're trying to capitalize off animal. Where? Ooh, I'm Sir Owlsty is back, gamers. Sir Owlsty is back. Who? Sir Owlsty is back. I'm so back. To be fair, there's an annoying feature where you, only the player gets to plays online gets the customizations up. Any guests you play get nothing. Again, me and my brain, 100% I can understand how that's annoying, but that's not the point Demeech is making here. That's the thing, though. If you were making this video, you and your brain would be really good about it. But Demeech is in Demeech's yeah, I don't know why I'm trying to be translator. But I think that's what was really another level of frustrating about Demeech, is that even if we have to play translator to get his points, and it's like, I don't want to. Firstly, I don't want to play translator. Fuck you, who are you? And secondly, the internet isn't going to play translator for you. It's up to you to make your points as salient. See, that's a $5 word for you. It's your point to make your points as salient as possible, so that it can be consumed by the masses to great effect. I'm bringing out the thesaurus today. Okay, I'm bringing out the thesaurus. That's not even true. I play online and me and my whole family have characters on there. Misinformation in my live stream? Unreal. Mero countering the chuds in the chat. It's always he thinks everyone is in his mind and everyone expects to pick up. That's a mistake that. Yeah, it's a mistake that to be, in all fairness to Demeech, if I want to be fair again, I think that's a mistake a lot of people make. How often have you bumped into a friend chat who says, who says something along the lines of, have you seen this thing that everyone is talking about? Proceeds to talk about a thing that you've never seen. And it's like, it's that friend assuming that everyone's algorithms are the same as him, as opposed to everyone has their own personally tailored algorithm. So sometimes you might get something that I just haven't seen. I think it's a mistake that quite a lot of people make. I've definitely had my share of people who, everyone's talking about this thing. And it's like, I have not seen a lick of it. But instead, you're supposed to say, oh, like, have you seen this thing? This thing's been all over my feed. Has it been on yours? That's generally how I tend to say about things, you know? That's my friend is my wife with anything on TikTok. So yeah, the fact that, like, a lot of you guys know this kind of person indicates that what Demeech is doing isn't particularly, like, egregious in its uniqueness. It's something that a lot of people do. But as a critic, again, as a critic, you're supposed to be a bit, like, it's on you to be a bit bigger brained. It sounds a bit pretentious, but you know what I mean, right? Like, if you're going to be a critic online and talk about things online, you're supposed to look past everyone is talking about this thing. You're supposed to be like, okay, how many people are actually talking about this thing? You're supposed to, like, do the level 2 conversation, you know? But Demeech is stuck on the level 1. He's been stuck on the level 1 for years. It's very unfortunate, Demeech. It's very sad. Very sad to see.
I'm guessing they assumed, hey, Animal Crossing sold well. We should make the next Wii Sports game have characters that look like they're from that game. At that rate, you could pretty much just have Animal Crossing Sports. I think that would be more appealing. But yeah, there's a very clear reason why people don't like Sportsmates. I don't understand how someone could think that people don't like them because they're not Mii's. It goes...
Well, it's very subjective. Here's the thing, though, to me. Again, the game hasn't come out yet. We have confirmed. The game has not come out at this point. It is very... So even any of the arguments about the customization being poor, blah, 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 like, those don't really apply yet because the game didn't come out at this point. So it's just really subjective. It's just they look kind of weird. If you asked me at the time, why do I don't like the sports ones, I just think they look kind of naff, don't they? That's kind of it. That's all you have to say, really. That's all you have to say to me. You're trying to, like, intellectualize something that doesn't intellectualize. Just say, they're just a bit weird, isn't it, mate? That's all you have to say. That's all you have to say. Oh, man. Oh, crazy. Thank you so much, Locust. I appreciate that. Play that joke by where I say, imagine most of these movie highway tech was literally just to wear the cars in passing. Yes, that's the best way to put it. Instead of me explaining after that the philosophy of the track design doesn't intrigue me and I don't think that's something that Mario Kart should do. Imagine if I just said, where are the cars? It's a car-themed track. And not only did I make that my only point, when people were rightfully annoyed, that when the movie highway fans were rightfully annoyed at me, I went, people aren't like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Crazy chicanery.
Beyond that, that's definitely a reason why. But at the same time, let's see what else he has to say.
Okay.
Being corporate and soulless without actually explaining how those descriptors even apply to them.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched the part where I'm in the video.
Oh,
and
he's in the video? Chat, Demeech is in the video. Hang on.
Said that I explain it. I do have a few more additional things to say, but I do appreciate that he's open to hearing different opinions about it. But these videos, let's see, he's responding to other ones.
There are quite a few videos explaining the various problems with Nintendo Switch Sports and the Sportsmates, and honestly, they're mediocre at best.
True!
A YouTuber named PK is seemingly in the forefront of these videos, as he's made 2 of them so far. Some of his points literally make no sense or have no evidence to back them up at all. Like this one.
It's like Nintendo are trying to hide Mii's. It's stupid.
No, PK. Nintendo isn't trying to hide Mii's.
Bro, I like this Pi Studios guy. This Pi Studio guy is a guy like maximum debate mode. He's like, yeah, fuck you, PK. You're just wrong and that isn't funny.
If they were trying to hide Mii's, they wouldn't be in the game at all.
True!
Even more idiotic and unsubstantiated.
If Mii's were in the forefront of the trailer, the game would have sold so much better.
So, despite the fact that the game isn't out yet...
I don't believe... Do you guys believe that for a second? I don't believe that for a fucking second. Are you joking me?
Game would have sold so much better, and how would...
True.
Mii's being the main focus of the trailer make the game sell better again?
Okay. I will tell you how.
Okay.
He is right that the game hasn't released, therefore we don't know the sales numbers yet. I'm sure it'll sell well because unfortunately with the Switch, if a series is tied to a recognizable brand name, it'll sell regardless of the quality. You have some of the recent Pokemon games like Pokemon Sword...
Pokemon mentioned! Pokemon mentioned! Yes! Oh! Inject it! Inject it into my veins! I feel like Gladion. I feel like Gladion in fucking... Yes! Inject it. I've been injected. I was falling asleep, Demeech. I've snapped to attention. Come on!
and Shield, and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, where the games are literally not optimized, and I even had Pokemon Sword crash.
Yes!
That is something no Switch game has done for me. Not even Mario Tennis Aces. But,
Crashed.
yeah, I will say that I think the Mii's would make the game more appealing. The reason...
Yeah, like Asmira already did the zinger. It'd get like 10 more. Yeah, be like, get out of here.
why I'm not getting Switch Sports doesn't have to do so much with the sports mates. We'll definitely get into that a bit more, but people do like the Mii's. It's not that hard to understand. It's not that deep.
Do you know what is deep though? It's even Saul X Vampire, extra large vampire, hit you with the you're a nostalgia Andy and a boomer.
Oh my god!
So I think your argument's wrong. And Oshin, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, hits me with the favorite Pokemon Misty. Gen 1 Reddit answer, Dragonite. He's always been my boy.
This, obviously.
Ever since Lance sent one out in his fourth, like his Elite Four fight when I was in Pokemon Blue, I became obsessed with Dragonite.
The only remotely decent point he makes is that the game's timing makes no sense. And
JT Shine, good to see you.
So I
Who's
don't
JT Shine?
understand why Nintendo Switch Sports is being
You guys, JT Shine is in the chat.
Who is that?
He is a great Nintendo YouTuber.
Really?
He's made wonderful response videos to Switch Sports.
Crazy.
I actually
he?
watched the video.
Hey, chat, hang on, chat. Hang on, chat. I've just come to an unbelievable... We're sounding the alarm, guys. We're sounding the alarm. Gamers, I did not know this. If I tactically remove my camera, you guys are not ready for what you're about to see. You guys are not ready for what you're about to see. Our guy, Callum Sparrow, Sir Musty Extraordinaire, is there. I can't believe this. Callum Sparrow, when he comes into the chat, guys, we have to remember, he was a Demetr. He was a Demetr. I didn't even know. I knew what's it? Castform was. I knew Minister Chicken was. I did not know that Callum Sparrow was as well. He was. He's. How many Demeech spies? I've not been looking at his chat. How many like fucking Demeech spies do we have in this community? It's actually unreal. We're gonna find another one. I feel like if I scroll up enough, we're gonna find another one because this is unreal behavior. I don't recognize anyone yet. I'm gonna find someone. I want to find someone else. I'm watching your chat, Demeech, okay? We need to, how many spies have entered the Submusty base? I need to know. Oh, hang on. So there's one chapter called Demeech Responds. I say we jump ahead real quick and see what this section has for us.
I would get a Steam Deck, but I'm really enjoying my Xbox Series X now. I highly recommend getting the Series X
For Power World?
because it's fully backwards compatible. And not only that, if you play older games on it...
Why? Is it just me? I feel like Demeech has the cadence where it sounds like whenever he's talking about something, he's advertising it to me. Is that me? Is it just me? Like, listen to this and tell me it doesn't sound like he's trying to advertise it to me. Just listen to it.
Enjoying my Xbox Series X now. I highly recommend getting the Series X because it's fully backwards compatible. And not only that, if you play older games on it, they're upscaled to 4K HDR. I've been playing Conquer Live and Reloaded, and it looks beautiful, despite it being released in 2005.
Again, it's just, they just... Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with my Xbox. I've been playing a lot of Conquer on this. It's very fun. And he just... That's how I would say it. But then I just funding for Demeech is provided, but it just sounds really stilted. Decide to buy it. Decide to buy it, man. I don't know what it is.
I do have a question for you guys, though. Why are people very nostalgic towards the GameCube and PS2,
because
but the Xbox is kind of forgotten about, the original?
No, you're... This is, again, if you really wanted more... what's it? More... What's what I'm looking for? More evidence, sorry. If you wanted more evidence that Demeech is like a fucking chronic Nintendo Andy, this take is insane. Like, people love the fucking Xbox, brother. Are you joking me? I've seen a lot. Halo specifically. And the 360. Like, maybe the original Xbox doesn't get as much, but people talk about Halo all the time. What was that guy that kept talking about Halo that we watched on Twitch? Who was it? Was it Gaming Magic 13? who like every single time he talks about a game, he was like, "Fucking, this game's not like Halo 3." Like, was that what it is? The game metric? So trust me, there's a lot of Xbox Andes out there, brother. A lot of them. A lot of them. He sounds like the anti-Scott there was when Scott recommends that, and you feel like he's being genuine. By the way, yeah, like I don't get it. I love Xbox 99. There's probably someone out there. We gotta find them. And we'll do a whole month for them. All right. It's like saying the Wii is underrated. Yeah.
No one.
More casual
Do you love Halo?
Okay.
I don't know.
I could go
You
on
fell
and on
off
about
ever since
why
he made
these
that one
videos
video.
are awful, but let's move on. The next video is by
Nah, he was a chill guy.
Voyman, and it's-
I love that
Voyan.
thumbnail, by the way. I actually do.
Do you?
I think that Matt's become the mascot of Wii Sports.
What in the... Why bother creating these brand new character models when everyone who likes Wii Sports would obviously rather use Mii's?
exactly the same as last video. Okay. Let's watch this one by Demetr.
Now, who
Demeech.
is that guy? He looks familiar. I have a sneaking...
Quick reminder, the original video was 8 minutes long. Well, this is 44. The yap maxing is... Listen, be nice. Okay, go on. Carlo. Come on, be nice. Okay. How long... You could go to my entire second channel and, like, the video is, like, 20 minutes, but it's a fucking 1 hour and 20-minute pod, okay? Come on. I'm not gonna fault him too much for that, alright? Because I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty as sin of that shit, okay? Let's, here we go. We're talking about Demeech now.
suspicion that he is with me right now. This one by Demeech. The most shameless Nintendo game ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laughing at my own joke. But unfortunately, Nintendo Switch Sports was not what I was looking for.
Hasn't played the game yet,
Yeah,
by the way?
I'm not
Hasn't
kidding
played full
there.
release, just to clarify.
But the characters in the spotlight are these... Alright, so let's go back. This guy actually
Watch this one by
was very fair responding to me.
Characters in the spotlight.
By the way, I would like to say that I'm not mad at this guy at all. I don't encourage anyone to make rude comments or anything like that.
You should be mad at him. You should be mad at him. I'm just saying, you should be mad at him. Check his community, but right now, guys? Hang on.
I'm just responding to his response, showcasing how I feel about the game. I feel like his response to my part of the video, at least, was more well-constructed than the other ones, where he was not understanding why people don't like the Sportsmates.
Watch this one by Demeech. But the characters in the spotlight are these bizarre-looking characters called Sportsmates. They look like
Ripped to a
Ninja
legend.
characters. How would you feel if the next Mario game had Mario look like this? But I'd go as far to...
Okay, there was one part of the video that he took out where I said the Mario design is good, but it doesn't suit the rest of the game, or wouldn't suit Mario. He took that part out, but I do think the Sportsmates are poorly designed characters, because if we look at them...
It's just, is the whole video just this? Oh, it's just gonna be more of this. Oh yeah, I think we've run out of juice to squeeze from this, but we'll butcher a little bit more.
No real reason. I've even stated that I could get past the Sportsmates if the game wasn't launching unfinished. This goes beyond just golf. This goes towards everything. The game played clunky. Nintendo is prohibiting footage of the game being shared from the demo.
Yeah, more the point. Nostalgia. Let's
Wii
go to the
Sports and
nostalgia
Wii
chapter and see what he has to say,
Sports
and then we'll
Resort.
move
I
on.
still do to this day. This isn't nostalgia. This is...
Gamers, wake up! The juice is better. The juice is on. We've got. It's not nostalgia, guys. No, nostalgia. Why are you laughing at me? It's not nostalgia. I swear, guys. I swear. Prove it to us, Demeech. Prove it to us.
This is people not being happy about a product that is only using the Wii Sports branding for brand recognition. This isn't based on nostalgia. Let's see.
It is.
I'm gonna look at
brother.
the first Wii.
At least just admit it, man. Oh, you're so shady, Demeech. This is peak shamelessness. Just admit it. It is nostalgia. Okay, that's what it is. It's predominant. Are the Sportsmates a bit weird? Yeah. Does the game not have as much sports as you'd like? Yeah. Well, come on now, brother. Let's be real. The game isn't even out at this point yet. It's not even out yet. Come on. It's nostalgia. It's nostalgia.
Sports because it hasn't held up as well. You have tennis, bowling, baseball, boxing, and golf. You have a really good variety there. None of those sports play the same. Then you have Wii Sports Resort.
His chat was fuming. Just to clarify, his chat is fuming at this point. Can I pop it out? I can't pop out his chat. I'll move aside here real quick though. Like, it's an objective, Zar. It's an objective fact that the Mii's are better. You're gonna let someone use the O word in your live chat, Demeech? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not watching my chat all the time. There's some sussy barkers in there whenever I rewatch a VOD sometimes. You're gonna let someone use the O word, Demeech? Really?
With 12 sports, there are all kinds of sports, and the ones that are brought over from Wii Sports are completely revamped with the resort theme and the enhanced motion controls.
This guy just says
This
me.
isn't based on nostalgia, and I'm willing to say 100%, nostalgia is the worst thing that can happen in some games.
Oh, he really... What was it? When did we say? Oh my god, chat, when was it that he said it? Oh, is it his Wonder? Literally, the Wonder review that I just uploaded on the second channel. I made the accusation that, like, a lot of people might be nostalgia blinded, but I feel like Demeech is nostalgia poisoned. Like, he's nostalgia cursed. Oh my god, it's sad. Look at him, he's like...
Look what... Nostalgia is the worst thing that can happen in some games.
Really? The worst thing? Demeech, you don't mean that. I'm expecting in 20 seconds for him to retract this statement. Or is he going to, like, talk about Pokemon? Make your predictions, guys. I'm expecting... My prediction in 20 seconds, he's going to retract this point because he realizes it's fucking stupid. But, like, are you really telling me... Guys, are you really telling me that when I played Brothership, I was enjoying myself, and then when I got the new bros... When I got a new bros attack, I'm like, oh, what's this new bros attack going to be? And I saw it was the Yoo-hoo cannon. I was like, game's ruined. Yep, game's ruined. I'm going to hit the mic 7 more times. The game's ruined. Really? Really, Demeech? You don't mean that. Demeech.
Look what happened to Mario. You guys remember Super Mario Bros. 3? Here, let's make a bunch of new Super Mario Bros. Games referencing it. You have the Tanuki suit and the raccoon suit coming back. Nostalgia
is the soup... I'm not the biggest Super Mario 3D Land Andy. I wouldn't say the thing that I hate about that game is the fact that it uses the Tanuki Leaf or references Mario 3 or New Super Mario Bros. 2. There was definitely an era where they, were like, hey, do you remember the Tanuki Leaf, guys? But, like, I don't know, Demeech. If on-script Demeech is like if on-script Demeech is already like pretty like off-the-cuff Demeech is like, what the hell, bro? What's happening here, lads? I want more off-the... Does he do more reactions like this? I want to see more off-the-cuff Demeech. It's even... Scripted Demeech is like a car crash. It's like a train wreck. I love this.
is like an Everstone. It prevents a series from evolving. This is not based on nostalgia. There are a lot of games...
Ironic that you say, like, nostalgia is like an Everstone, when I could say the fact that you made... This video has basically turned your channel into an Everstone, hasn't it? Because I don't think you've ever outgrown the fan base of people that wanted you to constantly talk shit about Nintendo games. How ironic is it that he uses an Everstone reference? Because I feel like your channel is in a form of stasis, brother. Because of the fact that, like, unless you talk shit about a game, you get no views, brother. You get no views. You get no bitches. You get none. Zero. You get nothing. You need to rebrand, brother. You need to come back stronger than ever, Demeech. Just like my bank account. When I get that YouTube check, 39 is what you inboxed in that. In it. Oh my god. He really has killed Nintendo. I love Nintendo 999. Like, in that video, this is coming around full circle, chat. This is coming around full circle. In the first thing we watched of I Love Nintendo 99, he was unboxing his 3DS with his copy of 3D Land. And now he's shitting on it. How many years later? He really is nostalgia poisoned. When I think back to, like, me and Ozzy, my brother Ozzy, constantly going backwards and forwards in Super Circuit, trying to get the best time on GBA Rainbow Road, I feel a tinge of nostalgia just even talking about it. When I think back to that time where I snuck my Game Boy Advance SP late at night to, like, because I was stuck on the final 2 bosses in Superstar Saga because of how bullshit it was, and I finally beat. I was so happy. When I think about all those times where, like, I fucking played Double Dash, and every time I lost, I turned off the console. I think about Demeech. He's a Grinch, isn't he? You're a mean one, Mr. Meech. Oh man, it's so bad, isn't it?
games that I used to play that I simply can't go back.
Demeech, what the hell? I'm joking to this? What the hell are you doing? Get out of here! This is a family fucking friendly stream. Get out of here!
To because
You're
newer
a Grinch,
games
Demeech. You're a
are
Grinch.
much better and play a lot better. I remember trying to go back to Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Why are you so nostalgia poisoned, Demeech? Why are you so nostalgia poisoned?
Found it very hard to do after playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Minus the trophies, of course, but that's a discussion for another day. But no, it's not based on nostalgia. That is not the reason why people aren't content about this.
It is.
If you were to compare just the original Wii Sports and the Switch Sports, just the original one from 2006, 5 sports that are varied, different kinds of modes. You could clearly tell that
was it fake Demeech? Oh no, it was a fake Demeech. It's even more cringe.
more effort was put into the original Wii Sports than this garbage.
It's nostalgia. Bro.
I'm gonna sit number 11.
For Mii's, Woohoo Island, or any of the missing sports from the Wii entries, Nintendo's...
Any of the missing sports.
Can you just let him... Listen, I'm not going to pretend to be the best reactor on planet Earth, but like, you let him talk for like 2 seconds, Demeech. He's talking for like 2 seconds before you pause him. Bloody, come on.
Do you understand why people aren't okay with a so-called sequel having less content?
sports is automatically looked down upon simply because it's lacking these things.
Yeah, it should be looked down upon. Why would you release a sequel with less content? That's not how successors work.
In my opinion, the gaming community at large needs to get better at judging games based on their own merits, rather than meticulously ripping them apart just because it's not like something from their childhood.
Oh my god! Pie Studios! Absolute masterclass! Can we hear that one more time?
Merits, rather than meticulously ripping them apart.
One more time.
Needs to get better at judging games based on their own merits, rather than meticulously ripping them apart just because it's not like something.
How will Demeech respond? How will he respond?
I think that it's absolutely fair to compare games. This is clearly based on Wii Sports, otherwise it wouldn't be called Nintendo Switch Sports and Nintendo wouldn't say it's a new iteration in the Wii series. That's ridiculous. That is completely ridiculous. Standards exist for series, especially ones that are already existing. People don't like it because it's half-baked, it's a cash grab. We have 3 sports that play the same. You got the game launching with an accessory that's not even fully compatible with it. But it's Nintendo, they can do no wrong.
People online again? People online again? I'm gonna be honest, guys. Demeech, you're boring me, brother. I'm gonna be honest, you're boring me. People online again? Demeech TOK discussion, maybe a blessing I was asleep.
Honestly,
oh man.
This controversy around Nintendo Switch Sports honestly feels like some type of Sonic fan tier argument. Like, Sonic's quills are too short.
No, it's not like that at all.
Listen, I like this Pie Studios guy. He's holding the fan base to the fight. I like this. Drastically short compared to generation. His color's also great. Man, I can't. The Sonic Andy. Where's the Sonic Andys in the chat? This is your fan base. Your fan base is cringe. What you got to say to that?
It's not referring to that. I will say that, you know, if you're criticizing Sonic's design, you're fine to do that. I can understand why people like different designs, but in the grand scheme of things, this is not just a simple design nitpick. This is criticism of a game that's unfinished.
Was it again, chat? Was it again?
That type of garbage. It's so obnoxious. It would be one thing if the sports mates were freaks of nature that looked like something out of a shovelware Wii title.
You see, this is where I'm wondering where he's trolling. They kind of do, not kind of, they do look like that.
Clearly don't. From what we've seen, they have more personality during games than Mii's do, and they seem to be more customizable as well, at least in some...
This is where I'm starting to wonder if he's trolling, because he said...
I love it. What, someone has different opinion must be trolling? What the hell is that?
You couldn't even customize the eyes and the head shape, but there's more customization. I hope he's trolling. If he is, he's doing a wonderful job doing it.
Certain aspects. I'm honestly really looking forward to playing this game, if you couldn't already tell.
Yeah.
I've been wanting some type of Wii Sports successor, and this seems to be filling those shoes quite nicely. If you enjoyed this video, please consider sending a like.
How's Demeech gonna finish? Go on.
Like what I had to say. Be sure to comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.
What you gotta say to Demeech? Come on.
Yeah, I'm not, or maybe he'll say at the end it's a joke. I don't know.
Why would he? It's just a different. He's really that pressed. He's really that pressed.
NFT sports.
You gonna
Yeah,
say
the outro
anything,
music
Demeech?
doesn't exactly mesh well together, so I'm wondering if this guy is trolling or not.
You're really gonna get on him about his outro music as well? Jesus Christ! He's pressed. He's actually red in the face right now. He's so upset that this guy had a different opinion. Fuck your outro music. He's so upset that even I've never said that to you, Demeech. I would never said that to you. This is unreal behavior. This is actually embarrassing, Demeech. This is unreal. Why is this VOD still public?
Hey, look. It's me. I see you, me. There are all kinds of analysis videos, every hidden detail. There's one video that Guava Juice posted
You're not gonna some of your final thoughts?
where he was tasting Switch cartridges and made puns. There were 3 games: Just Dance, 1-2 Switch. Yeah, I think it was those 2. And he said, "All right, 1-2 Switch, more like 1-2 Taste."
Okay.
That's Guava Juice for you. You know what? Let's see if, or actually, I do have to go.
I was gonna go
Guava
immediately.
Juice,
Oh, he's gonna.
Switch cartridge.
Okay, he's gonna immediately go to fucking something else. But, well, this is how I imagine Demeech. This is how I imagine Demeech behind the screen.
Now you've done it. You've made me 1930s work whistle angry.
That's Demeech. That's Demeech when he heard. He was like, "Oh, what the hell?" That's Demeech. That's Demeech like every day when he wakes up online. It's just him. But yeah, so I think it's fair to say, Demeech, can you do more of this, please? This was an absolute car crash of a reaction. I'm gonna be honest. Not a train wreck. Your videos are a car crash. This was a train wreck. I would, if I was being nice, I'd encourage you not to do more. But I'm not going to be nice. Please do more. Please do more responses to your videos on live stream, please. It's very, very chicanerous. I'm a big fan. But either way, so he was deep in the trenches, guys. He gets Cuphead angry. So it's fair to say, from these 3 videos we've seen beforehand, he was deep in the trenches, champ. He was deep in the trenches. So the first video post-launch, I think it's about 1 month later, Nintendo Switch Sports is the worst game Nintendo has ever made, half an hour long.
The time has finally come, hasn't it? Many have wanted a new Wii Sports game for many years, and considering the last one being Wii Sports Club was more of a remake and a weird experiment, there was a lot to be desired. Seeing how Wii Sports could evolve sounded incredible. Wii Sports Resort took the original Wii Sports and expanded on it in every way imaginable, and after nearly a decade and a half, we finally got a Wii Sports successor. The catch is that instead of evolving, it seemingly devolved.
How did it devolve, though, Demeech? But before you tell me how it devolved, Boy A, I recognize you're one of those Demeech spies, aren't you? I saw you in one of his live chats. Boy A. I don't know about you. Are you a Demeech spy or you're a Sir Musty Moscow Empire? What's happening?
Nintendo Switch Sports. What caught everyone off guard was the removal of the established Mii's for the new Sportsmates characters. All the Wii series games have Mii's, so to see Wii Sports return without them was incredibly jarring. Could you imagine if a Metroid game didn't feature Samus to make room for generic-looking robots?
Is he just gonna like rehash some of his arguments from the live stream? Is that how much? 200? I mean, this is the big one. It got 200k. This is the big one.
Oh wait, need I say more? The lack
I want to hear both sides of a discussion. Listen, Boy A, I'm correct and Demeech is wrong, okay? Subscribe to Sir Musty. Alright, it's just me. It's all Musty.
of Mii's is a major issue considering that you're constantly looking and interacting with characters, but while everyone was screaming about Matt, there was a far greater issue in the shadow. Come on guys, it's just Matt. What Nintendo will do is release a game in a state with very little content and cleverly disguise finishing the game as free updates. It's extremely sneaky, and many have been tricked into thinking these patches are free DLC. Even myself.
We've heard this point many a time, but this was fresh in what, 2022? So we'll let him have it, of course. We'll let him have it.
I will never forget how swindled I felt after playing Mario Tennis Aces.
We'll skip ahead a tiny bit though.
Cool. Except this is a perfectly reasonable question.
Hang on, we
You
missed the
attempt to
deadlock.
call me out for points are invalid. I bought the game, but the alternative is that I get a bunch of comments saying my points are
1 minute and 45 seconds, guys. That's how long it took for him to go, people online.
Oh my god!
Not a new record by Demeech standards, but still quick nonetheless.
Invalid, because I emulated the game. If you attempt to call me out for buying the game, I'm just going to ignore you. Cool? Cool. Except this is a perfectly reasonable question considering my strong resentment of the game, and not giving an answer would be rather pretentious. The answer? There's an excellent solution if you want to play or review a game that you don't want to support. Buy it secondhand. Getting a game used does not benefit a developer. That way you're getting a retrospective.
So again, the first 2 minutes in the video is just people online, and I bought it secondhand to own the Nintendo chuds. Classic Demeech fare so far. I'm surprised he hasn't gone anti-woke unless I missed stuff. Do you think that's how Demeech is going to rebrand? Because, like, you know, I don't remember where I seen it, but I ended up watching like another video, someone talking about Demeech. And it's like, yeah, I don't know where to go with my channel from here. I don't know. Maybe in December I'll kick it back up. Is that what it's going to be? Is his version of Demeech December going to be? Guys, Princess Peach is DEI now. They DEI-ified Princess Pauline.
And Nintendo doesn't get a cent out of me. I will always be honest about my thoughts, even if they antiquate my first impressions. I'd love to be proven wrong. So the question is, does Nintendo Switch Sports achieve the—
Again, I'd love to be proven wrong. We just did see a live stream where he's more, you know, off the cuff, more candid with his opinions. And the fact that somebody said something he disagreed with him, remember that last video I saw? Someone disagreed with him, and he accused him of trolling. So I'm like, when you say this to me, I think we now categorically know that this is not true.
I'd love to be proven wrong.
You don't. I like being proven wrong. I wouldn't say love. I do like being proven wrong, though. Like, if someone comes over with alternate information, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know about you, though, Demeech.
So the question is, does Nintendo Switch Sports achieve the goal of being a new iteration of Wii Sports, or is it as disappointing as a gutter ball?
And as we've already established from the Demeech cycle, he's already had his conclusion. He just now making the video to convince you that his solution was correct. We know that it's the Demeech cycle, guys. Oh boy, this video, everyone's excited. I'm excited, Chad. Let's go.
Starting off, let's address the elephant in the room. The first thing you'll do in Switch Sports is create your character. I assume the resentment towards the sports mates primarily had to do with them replacing Mii's, because the general designs for the characters look quite good. They look similar to Animal Crossing villagers, and for a sim game, they'd fit in quite well. So what's the issue? Not only do they replace the Mii's, but they do an absolutely awful job at doing so. I've seen the claims saying people are only upset about Mii's not being the focus because of nostalgia, or that Mii's are somehow outdated, and I have a response.
This is just really funny. I'm sorry, again, I don't want to pause before he's made an actual point, but this is really funny because he's literally just condensing his thoughts from that live stream into a video. Like, we've seen how the Demeech thought process goes. He'll watch a video, and then in his fucking actual videos, people online. We saw the people online. We actually got to see it this time. We got to peek behind the curtain. That's really funny, actually.
There's nothing wrong with the Mii's. There's a reason why Mii's succeed in a world of cringe-inducing avatars, and I've boiled it down to a science. The Mii's do not attempt to be more than what they are. They're caricatures and are not designed to look realistic, but there are so many customizations.
Yeah, but like, you can though? I wouldn't say the Mii's are caricatures. I think the fact that you can design incredibly realistic Mii's to like actual people, I wouldn't say they're trying to be Demeech. I don't think I agree. He just wants people to agree with him. That's true. See, even Christian knows. But yeah, I think the fun part about the Mii's is that you can customize them enough to make them caricatures, but I wouldn't say them in and of themselves are caricatures to me. I wouldn't say that.
Options that Mii's can still be very creative. On the other hand, avatars such as Samsung's AR emojis fail because they try to look realistic despite the limited customization. Now let's take a look at the
random jab at... okay.
Sportsmates. The Sportsmates
is that we chalked up to another Demeechism, like segue into something that most of the audience has no idea about.
Allies, but there's next to no customization. Take a guess how many hairstyles there are by default. 25, 15, only 6. And the ones that they chose are very specific and not even standard. You can't even wear a hat or go King Neptune. Not only that, you can't even have a mustache or glasses by default. Yeah, real worthy of replacing Mii's. But guess what? you can unlock more customization options.
I think, you know, the customization being bad. I think that's a give me, right? That's a give me. The entire internet person is just trying to be in the video. He's gonna turn around and say, "So Mercy stole my content." I don't think he's gonna. I think he's because he's acknowledged that I exist, I suppose. Because he likes to watch hater videos. I don't think he's like that. I think he's I would like to be, if I'm gonna take a guess from my perusing of Demeech online, which you will find out about in the bonus stream that you guys paid for, because I've done a little bit more looking into Demeech. I feel like I wouldn't say I don't think he regrets these videos. Like, you know, this era of Demeech where he was, you know, he made the Switch Sports video, SV video, Tennis Aces video, and the Super Rush video. I think it was Super Rush. But you know that era, like the 2022 Demeech. I wouldn't say he regrets it, but he definitely wants to move past it, which you'll find about more later. Okay, clickbaiting you more.
Options.
It's just a feeling, I guess. It's just my game theory.
You're better off just using a Mii. Sure, they look out of place, but it beats the alternative. Let's check out the sports and see if we can unlock something as earth-shattering as glasses or my own freaking hairstyle. There are as many sports as there are hairstyles. Only 6. This is half the amount of resort, not even counting the additional modes. But maybe it's a quality over quantity thing, even though Wii Sports Resort managed to have both quantity and quality. But we gotta give Japan's biggest company some slack. They're really struggling, aren't they? Poor
Man.
indie developers. First up is Tennis.
Demeech makes more sense when it's not videos that Demeech is making. It's Twitter posts as videos. Like, Demeech makes a lot more sense when you consider his entire catalog as that. Because like, no one has ever made the argument that Nintendo hasn't got the resources to make this. No one's ever. Again, it's just Twitter people. Yeah, constantly. Thank you so much, Tom. I like the Mii, but I think they have better game character customization. No, of course, listen. That's just the standards. That's just the give me really when Demeech says that. He's not wrong. He also has that cadence. He does, doesn't he? Oh, he has that cadence.
Nice.
I'm telling you.
Considering Pong is going to be half a century old, Tennis is about as classic as it gets for a video game. Tennis in Switch Sports is no exception. It plays virtually identically to how it did in Wii Sports and in Wii Sports Club. It's what you would expect, and I'm definitely fine with that. But unfortunately, there's a lack of options. You can only play doubles with no option for singles. Some may argue it was the same in Wii Sports, so that makes it okay here. Yeah, it was the same in Wii Sports. I didn't like it there either. It's ridiculous that some think just because a prior game did something, it's okay to do it again. But overall, it's solid enough. It's 1 sport out of 6, so we're off to a pretty good start. My favorite sport in any of the Wii Sports games is
bowling. I know you like bowling, but just as a brief aside, you guys have referenced Super Origami Kingdom. I've seen some people reference that in every Demeech video I make. There's usually a couple of comments about that. You guys need to help me. Super Origami Kingdom September? I don't know.
Hands down bowling. The concept is simple, but there's a lot of strategy involved. It's very close to how bowling is played in real life. Despite my gripes with Switch Sports, I assume bowling would still be just as good as it was before. But unfortunately, Nintendo dropped the ball here. I would say throw the ball behind, but this is Switch Sports. You can't do that. Nintendo doesn't care or try anymore. I'm quite good.
Do you think Demeech also is like the castle Easter egg in Royal Raceway? Do you think so? Do you think he's also one of those as well? You can't throw the bowling ball back. Oh no. I think we can chalk that up to another Demeechism in that he'll make some really good points, but then he'll make so. Normally, when you're making like a video like this, it's important. Like, you can bring up like the smaller points and the bigger points too. But generally speaking, if you do want to like mention like the smaller bits that kind of nitpick you, like I would say one thing that there's something about Brothership that nitpicked me. I don't have the top on it. But yeah, like, if I was to mention some of the things that like I didn't like about Brothership, I'd say there's some bigger things. I think most of the side quests are kind of like Luigi being mapped to A on his menuing. But like if I was to like, I think those are like two like bigger things that kind of annoy me, right? But if I was to mention like some of the smaller things, I'd be like, oh, maybe a little bit of a nitpick, but I also didn't think does that make sense? Like, I think when you put all of your points and make them feel like they have the same weight across the entire video, when your first point, which is the customization being lacking, I think that's fair. But when you also put that along the same breath as, you can't throw the bowling ball back and they do the jump thing. It's like, I don't. You want to have at least a little bit of self-awareness to point out the fact that it's a minor point, you know. But you're not beating the nostalgia allegations. Is what I'm getting at. You're not beating the nostalgia allegations. That's what I'm saying.
Good at bowling in Wii Sports, but to get there...
No, see, there was a Wii U game. It fell off. You know, you're right. You fell off. El Skibbity, Demeech.
I had to figure out which strategies would be the best to use, especially in the more intuitive Resort and Club.
It was very noticeable in the Pokemon
Sports,
video.
It's simplified to the point where if you find a good angle, you can keep getting strikes and spares. It's nowhere near as precise as even the original. The pins also don't feel as satisfying to knock down. Now this relates more to the general presentation, but it does take away the immersion.
Okay, what do you mean? Oh, hang on. That's a big allegation to make. The pins don't feel as good. What do you mean? Is it like... Because like, if you were going to make this point, if I wanted to make this point, maybe the sound effects, the way you throw the ball, like this, I kind of know what you mean, but you have to explain yourself here, Demetr. Otherwise, it just seems like you're being a nostalgia Andy. You're being a nostalgia Andy. Does that make sense? What do you mean when you say this? You're using big words, but you're not clarifying them. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves, you know? So basically, the more, yeah, like he's doing a lot of. Imagine if every single time, in every Demeech video has the same problem where he mentioned like game-breaking things or like really important things, but then he'll do an N64 Royal Raceway take in the middle of it, and it's like a bit weird, you know. But yeah, like you have to really do a big allegation. So just to clarify, what was his allegation?
Even the original, the pins getting strikes and spares. It's nowhere near as precise as even the original. The pins also don't feel as satisfying to knock down. Now this relates more to the general presentation, but
so go on, Demeech. Now's your chance. Really sell it to us. Because I've not played this game, so if you're asking me, how would you convince me, Demeech? Go on.
It does take away the immersion. Don't get me wrong, bowling can still be fun, but it's by far my least favorite way to play it in any of the Wii Sports games. Oh boy, I can't...
That's it? What, again? Show us the sound. I'm a big sound effects guy. I'm a big sound. If you're going to tell me it doesn't feel as immersive, I feel like I know what you mean to say, but you're not telling us. Sound effects. Does it feel like a satisfying pin sound effects? How, like, show us you throwing it in, like, Wii Sports versus Resort versus Switch Sports. How precise is it really? Like, is there, like, really, like, you just threw out a thing and that's it. Demeech, what do you mean? Demeech, this is poor. You call yourself a fucking video game reviewer. That was shambolic, lads. That was actually atrocious. You use such big words as it doesn't feel right. It's not immersive. Immersive. That's a massive word. That's a big claim to make. And you didn't even fucking clarify a single thing. That's atrocious, lads. I'm gonna be honest. That's strike one. That's actually atrocious. And I've never played this game, so I'm not even like sticking up for Switch Sports. Like I've never played it, but you've not done a good job convincing me the neutral as to why it's bad. But continue. What about Chambara?
Can't wait to play Chumbucket. Next up is Chambara,
he called it Chumbucket, guys.
Better known to the Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels is Too Difficult group as Swordplay. This is the only returning sport.
Hang on. What was that weird? Hang on.
Lost Levels is Too Difficult. Next up is Chambara. Better known to the Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels is Too Difficult group as Swordplay.
What? Are you really flexing that like you can beat a troll Nintendo? You don't consider a troll Nintendo game that hard? Now here's me, guys. Here's me. You guys know me. One of my weirdest takes is that I actually kind of like Lost Levels because it's really funny. But I'm never gonna flex to you that. You guys think it's hard. Wow, you're such soy boys. What fucking... Oh, Demeech. That's not a yippee. That's unreal behavior, lads.
This is the only returning sport from Resort, but unlike bowling, I found it to be just
Demeech calling me out. Yeah, I saw that video. I saw your video, Frying Pan Sam. I watched like... Do I react to it live? Because I watched like the first 3 and I'm just like, fuck, I'm just enjoying. I just want to watch it myself now. Fuck you guys.
Good, if not a bit better.
Go watch Frying Pan Sam's video. But guys, if you want quality, Frying Pan Sam, okay? Go watch. I'm shilling Frying Pan Sam. Frying Pan Sam 2025, okay? Google that to learn more information. Same with Oshin, give me more money. Yippee. Can that be a yippee? Thank you. I think my biggest Wii bowling issue is that I can now get strikes all the time. I found the Master Switch being inconsistent makes it feel rushing. Again, like, that would be That'd be a good thing for him to bring up. Like, the fact that you can find the consistent pattern to strikes is probably, like, can you do the same thing as easily in Switch Sports? Again, Ocean, you're bringing up an interesting point. You're having the level 2 conversation, something that Demetr's never going to have. Thank you so much. I end up. I really appreciate it. You're far too generous, mate. Honestly, you better have, like, a job that pays, like, 100K a year or something, okay? You're far too nice to me. It's gatekeeping lost levels, I know, right? Oh, man. What a weird game to gatekeep. Anyone in the world can look at me and say this game is shit, and I'm like, yeah, it is shit. But are you gonna look me in the eyes when I speak to you, Hector? Are you gonna look me in the eyes and tell me that you going over the flagpole, right, feeling so cool and Chad, and then the game is like, no, sorry, do you want to go back 2 worlds? And you're like, no. Haha, you can just die instead. That's what you get for doing the cool thing and jumping over the flagpole. If that isn't funny, I don't want to talk to you, okay? I don't want to talk to you. All right, that's what I'm saying.
How it was in Resort. You can choose between 3 different swords, my favorite being the twin swords. The different swords don't change up the gameplay too much, but having the options is nice. Your main goal is to knock your opponent down into a fountain in front of a Macy's. Wow, such high stakes considering you'd plunge into the ocean in Resort, but overall, it's pretty fun and the movement is rock solid. Next up is tennis. Oh wait, it's not tennis, it's badminton. The concept is the same, but unlike tennis being exclusively doubles, badminton is exclusively singles. Both play very similarly, but badminton is way better. Hitting the birdie feels far more satisfying than the ball in tennis, and surprisingly, badminton matches can get quite intense. It's surprisingly a blast to play,
oh my God.
but at the end of the day, it's just a variation of tennis. In any other Wii Sports game, this would be a mode and not its own sport. 1/3 of the sports are virtual.
Is there anything you can do to prove that? Like, chat, again, VAR check. In, like, Resort, for example, is there, like, tennis and then there's, like, a badminton mode? Firstly, I think both tennis and badminton, while they are similar in, like, theory, I think they play out quite differently. And secondly, if it was, is it, like, a side mode in, like, tennis, in, like, Resort? If so, then I think that criticism makes very little sense. I think if your overall criticism was that the 2 games are quite similar, therefore they probably should have, like, chose one over the other. I think again, that's another thing you have to prove your point to make. I don't know, Demeech. It feels a bit wonky. I'm just saying that. The point feels a bit wonky. Too soy to call about his real name, the Shuttlecock. It's a weird name, that is true. Will he mention how tripping is a death sentence to winning? I don't think he's going to mention any of this, guys. I don't think he's going to mention any of this. And he's not going to acknowledge that it's the worst game ever made, neither. Something tells me.
Virtually the same, and I assume volleyball would be too. There's good news and bad news. The good news is that volleyball does play differently than tennis and badminton. The bad news is, it plays as well as using a box jellyfish as a volleyball. The movements are similar to what you'd expect.
Hang on one sec. He complains about tennis being only doubles when he gets badminton, which is single player, is too similar and bad. That's very strange. That's actually very strange. Very strange that you mentioned that, Jake D. Snake. Are you a Slither? Are you one of those Demeech spies, Jake? I don't know.
You push the ball up, you spike it, and you can block. But the Joy-Cons cannot accurately sense the movement. This leads to many actions either not being recognized or poorly timed.
I think this is one of those things, Demeech, where I think you have to prove it. You have to go through like a bit more hoops to prove it. I can buy that the motion controls are a bit shit, but have you tried different Joy-Cons? Did you talk to other people? That's what I'm expecting you to say. Because I think it's a fair claim, but I think you definitely have to have used more Joy-Cons and spoken to more people. 100%. You have to have done that. That's unreal.
But once you do get an idea of the movement, it's slow and it drags on. Not a fan of this one.
No?
Tennis, Chambara, and badminton play
Why are they? What makes it slow and drag on? Again, this video is half an hour. You have no excuse to me. This is your magnum opus. 200k views. What makes it slow? Like, I'm curious. I'm the kind of person you're trying to convince. I'm someone who's never played Switch Sports. I want to go to my hit video game critic Demeech to get the lowdown. Is it a recommend? Is it a not a recommend? You're telling me what makes it slow and boring? I don't know. You tell me. I'm the reviewer guy. Oh no. Oh, Demeech, this is poor. This is poor, Demeech. This is the go. This is the guy. Again, he's saying his points on the most, but it's too short. It doesn't go into deep detail about them. Also, something negative. I'm not, again, 30 minutes. You can get into like a bit more detail, you know? It's not like 2 hours long where you can really get into the nitty gritty. But I'm expecting a bit more than just, what was the exact phrase he used? What were the exact words?
Well, on. Not timed, but once you do get an idea of the movement, it's slow and it drags on.
That's it. What do you mean it's slow and it drags on? What do you mean? I played volleyball, and while I get some early on the spikes, I don't have many issues with it. It's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't get it. You explain it to me.
Not a fan of this one. Tennis, chambara, and badminton play well. Bowling is underwhelming and oversimplified. And volleyball is an absolute
like
hot
yes,
mess.
7 English
but
exams.
if there's one sport I really wanted to see in a Wii Sports successor, it was soccer. Considering how Wii Sports is defined by the motion controls, it only makes sense for the included leg strap accessory to be used for the new soccer game. So let's get it set up. Okay, don't know why the leg strap is like this.
The other probably that most people don't care about this, they probably bought the game because they remember Wii Sports font. But true. But secondly, like as a critic, your best power is your voice, you know? So if you really want to like set the tone or maybe go against the grain, your best asset is the power of explanation and the power of editing. And Demeech is using both of those really poorly. Are we gonna get real Demeech here though?
This. Not sure why I'd need this. Ah, there we go. Let's do this! Well, that's weird. The leg strap seemingly doesn't work. It's literally just a piece of fabric, so there's no way the hardware could be faulty. Okay, get this. You can't even play soccer with the included peripheral. Only a stupid minigame.
Oh, is it Demeech's Fury?
We have seriously gotten to the point where Nintendo has become so arrogant that they included an accessory that isn't even fully functional day one. That is legitimately unbelievable. But don't worry, they're including basic functionality in a free update. What's keeping you engaged? I'll tell you what, anything besides this game, if any other company did that.
Welcome back, angry video game nerds. God, I feel this. I'm being hit with a tinge of nostalgia. My 14-year-old self is beside himself of glee right now. Welcome back, angry video game nerd. I've missed you.
They would never hear the end of it. But hey, doesn't every developer package a game with an accessory that's not even fully functional day one? Let's see how soccer is anyway. I was optimistic because many stated soccer is the best sport in the game, but personally, I didn't have any fun playing it. The concept is what soccer should be, but there's a stamina meter. If it was used to run fast, that would be fine, but the characters move so slow that running is what should be the walking speed, and to kick, you swing the Joy-Cons. You know what this tells me? It tells me that the game was rushed and was meant to have leg strap support day one, but
no, what it tells you is that since the running speed is really slow, the game values positioning more than mindlessly running, which you could get into the weeds as to, is that a good way to design a football game? But I don't think you're going to do that, are you, Demeech? Because if you're telling me the movement speed is slow, it's like, oh yeah, it's to encourage you to make sure you're in the right position and work more as a team than to simply just mindlessly run, which is what you're doing in all the footage you've shown, right? That could be interesting. That could be an interesting debate to have. But once again, guys, say it with me. That's the level 2 conversation. Demeech is still stuck on level 1. If he mentions any of that, I'll give him props, but I don't think he's gonna. Yeah, more dev time equals faster movement speed. Like, no, it's just the way. If you don't like how it's designed, fair. But you're not going to talk about that. He's not going to talk about that, chat. He's not going to talk about that.
Nintendo just wanted to put it out anyway. It's a bit reminiscent of Rocket League. Many praise soccer here because of that. But if that's the case, you know what I'd do? Play freaking Rocket League. And that game...
No, I would say Rocket League. Again, level 1 conversation again. I think one of the cool things about Rocket League is that the movement is so fast that you literally can zip around. Like, you can be in attack, and then if the enemies go in attack, you can zip. If you have the boost for it, it's more so managing your boost meter. But if you constantly make sure you have good boost, you can be both in attack and defense at the same time. Whereas in Switch Sports, football is obviously not designed that way. It's obviously designed in such a way so that you have to coordinate with your teammates. Just like a real football match. Like, in a real football match, you're never going to be like running backwards and forwards all the time on a real football pitch. That's fucking exhausting. So you're most likely like holding a position and then using your stamina accordingly, like Switch Sports is designed. Would you say that makes for a more boring game? Maybe, but you're not going to have that conversation. He's having the level 2 conversation and we're having... This is boring to me. This is your magnum opus? This is boring. All of my Demeech December has led up to this. And the house is boring, Seymour. I'm fucking bored. I'm not bored of getting money, though. Money's nice. He's like a real soccer. These players are moving so slow. He's probably one of those like Americans that like think soccer shit because it's a low-scoring game. There's plenty of reasons to hate football. Don't get me wrong. The theatrics, being the main one, I would say, because like the fact that you're like encouraged to be a bit like, oh my god, he hurt me, referee. Yeah, no one likes that in football. It's fucking shit. Sometimes some teams being encouraged more to waste time than to actually play the game. There's plenty of reasons for you to like actually watch football, but he's just like again, he's having the level 0 conversation. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Is free, well this costs $50. While volleyball is worse, soccer is easily the most disappointing. Only 3 of the sports feel polished, and if you include tennis and badminton as one, that's
Why would you include... Again, chat, remember I said this, it's the Demeech logic. He's already got he's not trying to make an objective review. He's not trying to do it, chat, remember. This is proof. If you needed more proof, I think I've done a good job proving my point. If you need more proof, it's this. How are you gonna look me in the eye and tell me that tennis and badminton are the same game? What are we doing here?
The sports feel polished, and if you include tennis and badminton as one, that's only 2.
Why would you?
Bowling is underwhelming, soccer is baffling and disappointing, and volleyball is utter garbage. But if half the sports are good, that likely means the game could probably dodge the ranking of trash. A great presentation can definitely help a game out, so let's see how it is in Switch Sports.
Okay.
Switch Sports takes place in a brand new central location, Spoko Square. It's a sporting complex located in a big city, and the concept of a central location is good. Wii Sports Resort did this beautifully with Woohoo Island.
He's changing what a game is to make his point.
Primarily sporting arenas, but you'll see things such as stores and restaurants in the background. From a visual standpoint, everything looks quite good. There's a good attention to detail, and the colors are vivid. But here's the problem. Even though Spoko Square looks good visually, it's not an exciting or fun location to center a game around. The reason why I love Nintendo is because their games provide immersive experiences for things you couldn't do or wouldn't do in real life. Well, technically you could replicate some of the things Mario does in New Donk City, but if you did that, expect the fuzz to show up. But let's compare Spoko Square to Woohoo Island.
He's literally a Bing Bing Woohoo Andy, guys. The game is not... Real world just isn't as fun as Mario World. He's Arlo. Welcome back, Arlo. Welcome.
What makes
Welcome
Woohoo
to the
Island
stream.
such an excellent location is not only how it ties everything together, but it provides an experience.
Nostalgia.
It's essentially a character of itself, and that's what Miyamoto was going for.
Hang on. Can we try that again, Demeech?
Experience. It's essentially a character of itself.
A character of itself, huh? Interesting. I would say your character's not that good.
And that's what Miyamoto was going for. Exploring the island through the sports provides a player with a sense of exploration. You can even fly over the island and see the island from a grander perspective. Now let's take a look at Spoko Square. While it does tie everything together, it doesn't feel like a character. It's very
Demeech, once it's funny, twice... You gotta go back and re-record. I'm gonna be honest with you, Demeech. You have to go back and re-record that line, brother. I'm gonna be honest. Listen, I get it. Pre-recording audio, it sucks. Especially when you're in the editing stage, you said something wrong and now you gotta fucking duct tape a new line. Alright, I get it. It's fucking annoying. The first time is funny. The second time you said...
While it does tie everything together, it doesn't feel like a character.
You mean to say caricature. That's what you means to say. But he said it wrong twice. Sure.
It's very standard and a very typical location. What's more exciting, exploring a tropical island or exploring a convention center?
Again, rehashing a point you made in that live stream, very skibbity of you. But secondly, again, if you're asking me personally, while I do prefer, I'll rehash the point I made when I watched that. In that, I would say I prefer the island over Spoko Square, but I think the idea of playing in a place where people are also just doing other things is actually quite interesting. I quite like that. I made the example of like the mall that I sometimes go to when I need to go clothes shopping. There's like a giant area in the middle on the ground floor, which is reserved for whatever anyone wants to do. I think the last time I went there was like this people were playing like this sports game. Like it was like an advertisement for like a gym, right? But instead they turned it into a game where like they literally pulled two random people from the audience to make them play various like gym sort of themed challenges, like hold on to a bar. The person who holds it for the longest gets a point. It was actually quite interesting to watch. I ended up sitting there and watching it for like 20 minutes. It was quite neat. So like the idea of like me being able to go get some shopping done and, you know, watching some people like beat each other up on Chambara is pretty fucking cool, you know? But of course, again, say it with me, guys. He's having the level 1 conversation. He's permanently, he's stuck on the 1-1 Goomba gamers. He's stuck on the 1-1 Goomba.
Spoko Square is similar to a typical house you'd see on HGTV. Nice to look at, but there's nothing fun about it. Music, on the other hand, is a different, but similar story. The main theme is pretty good, but the majority of the tracks were able to do something no Nintendo game has ever done before. Ever since the beginning of the decade, I've had sleeping issues. I've tried counting sheep, staying up for 24 hours straight, and a bunch
Let me guess, the joke is going to be, but now that I've played Switch Sports, it's cured my insomnia.
of other things that didn't work, but the soundtrack in Switch Sports completely fixed my sleep schedule.
Way! He did the joke! Perfect.
It's made to sound like a speaker in the background, and the proper term for it is diegetic. The relatable term is unbelievably boring. Never did I feel the music enhance the gameplay or hype me up.
No, if anything, it adds to the theme of what they're going for. If what you're telling me is that it uses a lot of diegetic audio, it makes perfect sense, because the whole idea is that you're playing bowling in an area where people are doing some shopping. So the audio is like, sounds like it's coming from a speaker. If anything, that sort of like audio design or like elements of that is what I kind of like in, for example, Pokemon Sword and Shield's gym theme. While the music isn't diegetic, they obviously made the crowd, like crowd chanting, part of the music to indicate the fact that like there's a crowd watching in the stadium. So like I quite like that element. I don't know if I'd like the soundtrack, I'm gonna be honest, but because I've not listened to it. But if you're telling me that it's diegetic equals bad, again, that's a very level 1 conversation to me. Play some side-by-sides for me and then we'll see, but he's not gonna do that, is he? He would be counting sheep probably in striped pajamas with a hat with pom-pom going honk shit. He definitely did. He's got that Scrooge McDuck fit. No. Was it Ebenezer Scrooge, not Scrooge McDuck? He's got that Ebenezer Scrooge fit, doesn't he?
Even elevator music has more personality, but the best way to describe the entire presentation of Switch Sports is soulless. When I covered Wii Sports Club, there's a very specific reason why I said the game lacked personality, but wasn't completely devoid. That's because Switch Sports is completely devoid. Let's take a look at getting a strike and spare in Wii Sports.
Okay.
Wii Sports.
Okay, we're gonna do a comparison. Okay, let's see. Okay, for once, Demeech is actually using the power of editing. Show us.
Club and Nintendo Switch Sports.
Great shot.
Okay, and then.
Nice serve. Spare. Nice.
Right. Not the worst thing. Let's say them all.
And Wii Sports.
It's definitely better in Wii Sports, I would say. Definitely a little better. Is it because it's a woman? I'm confused. I would say like the sound effects are probably a bit more like punchier in the original. Let's say.
Nice throw.
Like, nice throw. Like he sounds a lot more louder. You know, like he's got a lot more presence to him. And again, the graphic on the strike looks kind of nicer, you know? This one, they kept it quite simple, quite low-key on this one. Like, it's a different, I wouldn't say I hate it, it's a different take. I definitely prefer the Wii Sports version more better. A bit better, I'd say.
In Wii Sports, getting a strike was an incredible feat. In Club, you know you did a good job. In Switch Sports, there's no satisfaction whatsoever. And this lack of personality applies to everything. The UI font and logos are oversimplified. Great. Do we really have to go back to this?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Demeech has a rare W, actually makes a good point. Edits in a clip to, like, you know, make his point a bit more salient. Immediately throws that L in the bin. Immediately.
Again, and the announcer is
The menu just looks clean. I like this. I like this. Sometimes I just want to I think Demeech sometimes forgets. Sometimes I just want a plain readable menu, you know? And sometimes it works for what this game is trying to go. It's trying to be like quite simple in that regard, you know? That's what it's going for, you know?
As melodic as an alarm clock.
And like again, I think the announcer kind of like adds to this. The announcer's quite, you know, like subdued, a bit more low key, and I think the fonts and like the presentation reflects that. It's all very consistent, brother.
If Nintendo Switch Sports wasn't tied to the Wii Sports...
You just hate it because it's not Bing Bing Wahoo and it's not nostalgia. Go back to bed, Grandpa. Go back to bed.
...series, I guarantee you nobody would even care about it.
Hang on, what was that point? I was talking over you.
And the announcer is as melodic as an alarm clock. If Nintendo Switch Sports wasn't tied to the Wii Sports series, I guarantee you nobody would even care about it. That's because the game doesn't even resemble a Nintendo game. Wii Sports Club isn't exactly what most would call a gorgeous game, but there's no denying that's a Nintendo game. Switch Sports, on the other hand, legitimately looks like a Wii Sports bootleg. Never mind, I take that back. Even bootleg games have more life put into them. The fact that a shady, illegitimate Mario game made by a team of Igor Pavel and Demetr has more personality than a game made by Nintendo goes to showcase how downhill they have become. But it's not just limited to Switch Sports.
You could have... Demetr. I love how... Oh, you guys making fun of Demetri? No, his name's Demetri. And then the right, that's mean. Okay, that is chat. That's very extremely disrespectful to the people of Russia. Okay, his name is Demetri, not Demetri. Shut up. But again, I would say that's a bit. I was going to say that's a bit of Demetri. I thought that's what you were going for, in the sense that his earlier point when he was mentioning the announcer, like the sound effects, was actually quite a decently well together point. And this one to indicate that this one's like, you know, this game's got less soul. He's simply, again, instead of showing, okay, what parts do you think had soul? Like, you have to describe what you mean by that. It's one of those vague terms like soulless, game feel, immersive. Like, it's one of those words that sounds really cool. And if no one's paying attention, you can kind of get away with it. But Somosy's watching, okay? I'm not letting you get away with using those $5 words, okay? It's like when someone says underrated or overrated. Immersive, I'd put in that same camp. Game feel is in that same camp. These are the words where, like, hey, you gotta explain yourself, motherfucker, okay? I'm not letting you get away with that. Gone are the days where any reviewer I'm calling my goat can just say those words and get away with it, okay? So when you say it's soulless and you're like, oh, Demeech, please present your arguments. This guy called Demetri made a more soulful game and I want to play a random clip. Which, I'm gonna be honest,
goes to showcase
I don't know what about this feels more Mario. If you're telling me this feels more like Mario than Switch Sports feels like Wii Sports, this was not a clip. What, you got the fucking what's it, the pyramids, the pyramid from fucking Mexico in the background? Does that feel very Mario to you? I don't know about that, brother. I'm just saying. What are we trying to do? So we're comparing other games to the same series, which is what he's done prior in this exact video. He compares it to a bootleg. I don't like. This is Demetri, the Mayan pyramid. Thank you, the Mayan pyramid. I was going to say Incan, but I knew I was going to get that wrong. Or Aztec. I knew it wasn't one of those. I had those two stuck in my head. But the Mayan pyramid, like, that doesn't feel very Mario to me. It feels more like Mario's Missing. Yeah, which is a game that gets accused of being a bootleg all the time. Demeech, you had one good point, Demeech. A broken clock is right twice a day. The Chichen Itza, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. I forgot what it was called. I was going to call it the pyramid from Sonic Adventure 1, but I thought that'd be extremely disrespectful. So I didn't want to do that. From Mystic Ruins and Sonic Adventure.
But it's not just limited to Switch Sports. I've noticed most of Nintendo's casual games on the Switch have a very distinct unbranded look to them. All the Labo games, Clubhouse games.
Again, they just look simple and clean. I like the way that Clubhouse game looks. And again, if you're comparing it to the same game, the game that was on the DS in the same series, the DS game also had a relatively simple and clean look to it. So this is a horrible comparison we're making here.
And Game Builder Garage, they're perfectly fine games, but here's what I don't get. Why is Nintendo so adamant about taking down fan games and anything that uses their franchise?
What does this have to do with Switch? We've gone rapidly downhill. Good lord, what is happening in here? What does this have to do with anything? Demeech, entertain us, but how did we get This is like, you know when you were a kid and you fell asleep in the car and then you woke up and then, what the hell, you're in your bed now? But instead of like a pleasant surprise that your dad carried you to your bed, you know, and tucked you in, you've woken up and you're in a fucking Peruvian prison. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell is Gustavo doing in the corner over there? I'm scared, bro.
Franchises only to then go for a great value art direction. It's like if
Demeech's
Coca-Cola
generic
did
fury.
everything possible to wipe out anything related to their brand, only to heavily market unbranded cola. That's not saying these games need to be part of an established series, but the characters and presentations are so devoid of creativity, and
It's Clubhouse games. I'm not expecting any Nintendo Scrimbo Blimology in my fucking Clubhouse games. What are we doing here, Demeech? And besides, Clubhouse games on Switch, I fucking like it. It's a good game, by the way. Albert Boris, if you want to play that together, we'll do that, okay? I'll beat you at fucking Ludo, motherfucker, okay? I'm a Ludo god. I'm a Ludo god. It's literally board games. What did you want? Did you want, like, fucking backgammon to have, like, Mario going, hey? No, do you know what he wanted? He wanted to go fish in fucking Clubhouse games to have Mario going, go fish. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. This guy, real world is as fun as Mario World. Like, when Arlo said it, like, it's like, it was a funny line in, like, a point that overall made sense. When Demeech says it, he actually means it. He's legit. 50 games for 50 pounds. Why is there no open world? Yeah, where's the side quests, okay? What's going on here? I don't get it. Where's the battle pass?
boggles my mind. The sports are a mixed bag. The presentation is lifeless. Things aren't looking pretty, but maybe, just maybe, the content is packing.
This is unreal,
The
guys.
Wii Sports games are made for multiplayer, and Switch Sports is no exception. My pal Riley was overjoyed to have a break from Kablooey to enjoy some Nintendo Switch Sports. Badminton is very fun. He had fun with bowling, even though I found it underwhelming. But our experience with soccer and volleyball remained the same. The most important thing
Guys, where's Pauline? Where's Pauline, guys? Can we get Pauline in this game? Then maybe he'll like it. Blood wants Pokemon Checkers. Pokemon Checkers, Mario Go Fish. That's what he wants, guys. He wants all of the Nintendo brand. He wants Metroid, Ludo. He wants Luigi Poker. That would be actually lit. I'm gonna be honest, that actually kind of lit.
wanted me to know is that he agrees that the music is suckish.
Who?
Another thing that's worth bringing.
Could you maybe play some? Like, just snippets? I'm not expecting you to play a whole bit, obviously, it'd slow down the pacing, but a little bit, just a little snippet, side by side. No editing.
Up is that some sports only support 2 players. All of them should have support for up to 4 players, but if there's any that would benefit from more players, it would be soccer. It's clear soccer isn't even finished. Not to mention, each player needs their own user account on the Switch. Why? Well, the game is significantly more fun in multiplayer. We didn't play it for long. We then went back to Wii Sports Club and found the experience to be way more fun if you don't have any of the Wii Sports.
Wow, guys, it's almost like if you go into a game wanting to like it, you'll like it. And if you go into a game wanting to hate it, you'll hate it. What a criticism to put in your video, Demeech. And yeah, I was just about to say, Wii Sports games also had some games that had a 2-player limit as well. This is your go? This was the best of it? This was the best of it, Demeech. This is unreal behavior, lads. This is the magnum opus. And it's not even like chicane, it's just boring. You're just boring, Demeech. It's just boring, lad. I'm tired. Can I go back to NSMB? No, listen. This was your GoatCast one. You have to sit here, okay? You have to watch this.
Games, Switch Sports is somewhat serviceable. Not only do I say that because the Wii Sports games are better, but they have way more content. Wii Sports Resort and even Club have many training mini-games, so in addition to the sports, you have many different ways to play. But in Switch Sports, what you see is what you get. The only extra modes are bowling spin control and soccer shootout. And guess what? It manages to lack the most basic of features. Wow, I'm so surprised. If you play the game locally, there's no unlockables, no skill level, nothing. Just the sports. Nintendo hosted a global playtest, which they strictly prohibited sharing footage from. That right there was a major red flag. What I assumed is that the game would launch unfinished and lack content, just like Mario Tennis Aces, but the game surprised me in a way I never could have even imagined.
What was that, Demeech?
Switch Sports has online multiplayer. Wii Sports Club did as well, but the main game was local. I assumed the same would apply to Switch Sports, but as it turns out, the entire game is centered around online. The good news is that the online works pretty well without prominent lag. The bad news is that Switch Sports is designed to be a game as a service. This is where all the unlockables and content are.
I would say, while it is quite shit that you can't unlock, you can't like make any sort of progression offline, you have to understand, Demeech, that this is an entirely different video game landscape from the one that existed when you were obviously a kid playing Wii Sports. A lot of games are online now. Like, be honest, chat, right? When was the last time like you invited a friend over to play a video game? It's been a decently long. I mean, the last time was not too long ago. It was it like a month ago when I went to Ozzy's house to play with Jamboree? Yeah, like other than that, like the last time I went to Ozzy's house to like play a game when they came over was like ages ago. It just doesn't happen as often as it used to. Whereas when I was a kid, yeah, I was going around to friends' houses all the time, and friends were coming around to my house as often as I could do it, you know? But like these days, that just sort of thing doesn't happen as often as it used to. Like, I don't know, I mean, Demeech is like 5 years younger than me, but yeah, I remember I used to like literally knock on people's doors and say, hey, can fucking Jason come out to play? Or can I come inside and we like play some Melee? Like, that's how it is. If you don't have Switch Online, that's shit. Don't get me wrong, you're right. Zip Wii Sports pants up when you're done, please. He's doing backflips on it. No, don't get me wrong, it is shitty. I'm gonna understand. What I'm telling you is that in a modern gaming landscape, it's fair, shitty, but fair to expect most people to have like Nintendo Online, and for most people to be playing online more so than locally. Those are fair assumptions to make. Is it shitty that that's how it is now? Of course it is. Of course. Like, cause I used to play online games on my PS3 without having to ask my mom for money. But nowadays, if like someone who's like 12 wants to play like online games with their friends, they gotta hope that their mum lets them borrow their card and pay like $4 for a month with Nintendo Switch Online. Shitty that that's the case, but most people have it at this point, you know? I think it's a fair assumption to make. So having all the unlockables be behind online play isn't like the worst thing ever made, you know? You're talking to Nintendo only, Demeech. You didn't see it coming. That's true. Yeah, it's true. So while this is a fair point, I don't think this is like the big silver bullet that he thought it was going to be. I'd say the best point overall was probably the customization, which is a bit of a give me. The customization is lacking, and the thing with the announcer when he put the side by side of the announcer in Wii Sports and Switch Sports. I'll agree with him. Yeah, the announcer in Wii Sports, like the sound design in Wii Sports was way more appealing to me. Although the one in Switch Sports kind of makes sense for what this game is trying to be. But at this point, I don't think it's going to be the strong one that you thought it was. I wouldn't be surprised if Demeech was one of the people who complained when music required NSO. I wouldn't be shocked neither, if I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't be shocked. When Switch Online gets shut down, you're able to get stuff unless they add the ability to get offline. That's a criticism that I think we can have later down the line. Because, and I would say that's a fair criticism to make, Sable too, but didn't they enable you to buy Animal Crossing Pocket Camp straight up to like keep your stuff offline? So Nintendo have kind of set a precedent that it's possible for them to like allow you to keep like to make a version which can be offline, if that makes sense, to keep stuff offline. It's possible for them to do that. It's something they can do. So if they don't do it, then I think that's a fair criticism, 100%. But they can do it, so if it's a question of if they don't, then yeah, you can criticism of this. But as of now, we can't really make a point of that. But what I'm saying is I don't think it's a silver bullet that you think it is, Demeech, unfortunately. But let's continue. Let's hear what he has to say. Yeah.
I would maybe be more forgiving if the online provided a solid and engaging experience. But as the anthem goes for Switch Sports, how low can you go? How low can you go?
Demeech referencing Ludacris was not on my bingo card, but I didn't know you were a brother like that.
Let's say you want to unlock your own hairstyle or glasses. There's no way to do so unless you grind. You get points to unlock items, but what you get is completely random. That means you'll need to potentially play the game for hours to unlock what you want. And guess what?
Okay, that's pretty.
Unlockables rotate.
That is pretty. It's like there's a set of stuff where it's just randomly generated loot boxes. Okay, that's very strange. The Gamba, listen, you know me, okay? This is the system I could live for, but this is weird. Okay, this is weird.
So to unlock everything, you'd need to play the game constantly. You can apparently unlock items without having a Switch Online membership, but it's designed to be so limited that it pressures you into getting the online service. You already bought the game, why not throw another $20 to get the service? Really?
It's $4 for a month, but sure, $20 for a year. Again, in principle, I agree with him, but consider Nintendo's one is probably the most affordable, like by a margin. Isn't like a year of PS Plus like £50? I think. So Nintendo doing it for 20 is that like. It's shitty, but that's just the industry standard, you know? It's the industry standard at this point. It's shitty, but I don't know.
convenient
They have a bronze
considering
bullet,
the
not a silver
$40
bullet.
price tag. Why is it that EA is one of the most hated companies for how anti-consumer they are?
Because I don't. I'm not gonna. I'll pause and just leave it there, okay?
When Nintendo does similar things, they just get a free pass. What? Because they have popular franchises and likable characters? That's what they want you to think. Luigi, our Switch console's doing very well. What should we do next?
Oh, he's doing a skit. He's doing a skit, chat. He's doing a skit.
Mario, I had a pretty good idea to involve microtransactions. Wario told us to name them Nintoken. That way they'd seem cutesy even though they're pretty greedy. How does that sound? Sounds good, Luigi. There have been other Nintendo games.
Not your best skit, Demeech. Not your best skit, I'll tell you that. And yeah, the reason why people will defend Nintendo, don't get me wrong, the Nintendo glazers, sorry, the self-employed Nintendo lawyers, I'm stealing the Demeech line, they are annoying. I won't pretend they're annoying. But you cannot look me in the eye and tell me that Nintendo haven't at least earned the pedigree that they do based on their past experience over EA. You're not going to look at me and tell me that that's not the case. Like, you can't honestly look at me and tell me that. Nintendo, like, the fact that Nintendo, like, was responsible for like saving the video game industry in America from like the market crash, like that in and of itself, that along with making some of the most like memorable IPs of all time, kind of has endeared themselves to a lot of people. So while they are shitty and do shitty things, you can expect a lot more pushback than if you were to talk about EA, because EA doesn't have that same level of pedigree. Like let's not talk. If we're going band for band on shitty things for each company's done, EA's track list is like so long that you'd have to comically look up to see how far it's gone. Whereas Nintendo, the mountain is high, but it's scalable, whereas EA's is not. So I think he said the same thing in his Twitter video this "Why I'm Leaving" Twitter video. Oh man, Demeech. You want people to like understand your points, your nuanced points, and yet you lump every Nintendo fan along with the EA guys. I don't know, Demeech. I'm gonna be honest, very disappointed. I play PS Plus free every 2 months because my spending is extremely different every month. For 3 months, it's around $50. To be fair, I use it for the free games and don't use online. I mean, if you're using it for that, then that's fair enough. What I'm saying is that like it is a bit more pricier than Nintendo's. Is my overall point, you know. Also, the workplace sucks in EA. That's true. It's Apple. He's comparing green apples to like red apples. They're both apples, so it's a fair comparison. But if you ate a green apple and a red apple, they taste very different. One's a bit more sour, one's a bit more sweet. So saying they're both exactly the same, not fair, Demeech. Not fair. Very, very level one of you. Very level one El Skibbity.
Games that do this, Mario Tennis Aces has unlockables locked behind a paywall as well, but at least they're just costumes. Switch Sports locks the entirety of the game behind it. I know what you're thinking.
Collection.
Games like Super Mario Maker 2 and Splatoon have many features locked behind online as well. The reason why it's acceptable in those games is because they're clearly designed and marketed as online experiences. Wii Sports is defined by local multiplayer and being a game anyone can understand and have fun with.
No. Okay, now is the part where you point out to me what makes Switch Sports uniquely like, oh, it's positioning itself as an offline game. I mean, I guess by the marketing you could say that, but in the main menu, don't they like show like isn't online like the first option? Yeah, literally, look. If anything, like, yeah, Wii Sports is defined by local, but modern gaming isn't. Yeah, it's like you're booming. You're booming so hard, lad. If anything, look, the online playtest was online only. Literally. It was online only. You could not play offline because they wanted you to play online because that was the whole shtick. I don't know, Demeech. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I genuinely think he's lying at some point. You have to think that at some point he'd recognize how level 1 he is. He has to know that he shoots himself in the foot. I don't think he does. If there's something that... do I want to say this? I sound like such a fucking cunt when I say this. But if there's something that I've learned in like this is coming from like, if you're wondering where does this come from? This comes from me doing security for 8 years and being in the workforce for 10. But the reality is a lot of people don't think about things as deeply as you think they should, right? Now, that's fine, right? Like when I do security work, most people don't care about like what's happening in the world. Most people don't care about like the deep conversation about life. Most people just want to talk about the latest show of the program that's like currently being talked about a lot. You know, like, what's the latest episode of The Boys or something like that, right? Most people don't care about like to get into any sort of beyond service level conversation. What I expect from a critic of a company in an industry that they care about a lot is to have those conversations. Does that make sense? And the fact that Demetr is like this isn't a shock to me in principle, but it's a shock to me that like he's a video game critic that still thinks this way. That's what makes it. He's been doing, and again, he proudly advertised that he's been doing this for 10 years. If you've been doing anything for 10 years, I would like to believe you've gotten better at it over time. And yet constantly watching your catalog for the last 4 streams, the last like couple weeks, it's clear that you haven't really evolved yourself as a critic the way that you probably think you have, or the way that ideally anyone would have over the last 10 years. If you're telling me 8 years ago, if I did security work versus me doing security work now, I'm very much more competent in my craft than I was 8 years ago. Because like ideally, that's just naturally what happens when you do something long enough, you get better, you hone your skills. I now know what to look for more like so in a security environment than I did 8 years ago. If we're talking about me as a video game critic, I think I'm a lot better than I was even 1 year ago. I like to believe that I've done a very good job of refining my takes, learning how to use language very effectively to communicate my points. I feel like and the fact that you've been and that's the one thing that confuses me about him. It's the fact that you've been doing this for so long. And if you were to ask me, how has he been able to do this for so long and not refine himself the same way that anybody naturally doing anything for this long amount of time would have refined themselves? I would literally say it's because of Twitter, or because of like his online discourse as a whole. Because he's constantly in the weeds of defending his opinion, he's never had that moment of thinking about something and like refining it. Does that make sense? It's echo chamber, but I think it's a combination of echo chamber and stubbornness. And I think that's one of the saddest things about the internet. One of the greatest things about the internet is that you can see, like, there's so much of the world that you can explore on the internet. But one thing that's very, very sad is that the algorithms that be are incentivized to keep you on them for as long as possible. And as a result, you will find echo chambers, right? Now, are the algorithms doing anything morally wrong? Not particularly. Like, you want to see more things that you agree with. That's just naturally the human condition. So when the average person does this, I don't blame them for that. Like, I'm not going to fault anyone for like only finding opinions they agree with. It's a bit cringe, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to fault anyone for like only finding opinions that they agree with, or only being like in their bubbles or their echo chambers. As a critic though, you have a more powerful voice, and you should use that to much greater effect than you're doing right now. Again, this video is 2 years old, so ideally he's evolved, but if watching your progression over the years has told me anything, is that I don't think you've evolved as well as anybody naturally should have. I think mentally, there's this arrested development that's happened with you constantly being online as often as possible. I think that's what's happened, and I think that's just genuinely sad. I think Demeech is what happens. I feel like me and Demeech weren't so different in that, yeah, when I was a teenager, I was a Nintendo fanboy as well, but I wasn't nearly as online as Demeech was, and as a result, I was able to, you know, refine my opinions of my own terms instead of like entrenching myself in a camp just to spite other people. And this Demeech is what happens when you don't have that, you have that introspection to realize, you know, it's all just ultimately a wash in the end. You know, the more you change, the internet stays the same. You can either stay the same along with the internet, or you can grow. And the fact that sometimes the internet can cause people not to grow is one of the saddest downsides, one of the tragic downsides of the internet as a whole, is that it can cause people to be stuck in their same spot. If you want another example of this, I'd say TikTok is kind of bad with this sort of thing. What ends up happening is that, for example, right, I don't know if you might have an experience with this, chat. You might have an experience with this, but I know someone personally, a friend of mine, like a friend of a friend, it's not like really personal, but they had a breakup with their girlfriend. Now, if you ask what is the normal general progression of someone in a breakup, they go through a phase where they're like, men ain't shit, women are pigs, etc., ice cream, sad movies, and eventually father time heals all wounds, and you get back out there, you get back on the saddle. But because of the internet, what can happen is that because the algorithms are incentivized to show you exactly what you want to see, that person going through a breakup might constantly find, you know, say it's a man, for example, who's attracted to women, they'll be like, yeah, women ain't shit, women ain't shit. So they constantly go down that rabbit hole of women ain't shit. So instead of going through the progression of, yeah, women suck, but then like you kind of, over like a week or a month or a year, you kind of just slowly phase over that. The same way I did when I got through my first breakup, you know, yeah, I was like, fuck women, yeah, I hate them. But then eventually I grew up and I realized, okay, next time to get back on the horse. This is what happens when like when you get stuck in an algorithmic plague. You get constantly fed the thing you want to see in that moment, and even though you're supposed to grow up, the algorithm doesn't care that you have to grow up. It just wants to keep you in that same spot. So sometimes a lot of people have the ability to just eventually they'll realize it's toxic and they'll pull themselves out of it. But some people sadly don't. And I think that's kind of what's happened to Demeech. But instead of like, you know, breakup algorithms, he's got Nintendo algorithms. He's constantly like been fed this diet of only Nintendo opinions that he's agreed with or disagreed with, so he constantly feels like he has to fight a battle without like having that step back of going, okay, something weird is happening here. I'm being like put through the ringer too much. My mental health is drained. Let me just step back and not agree with this. You know, let me just get out of here. You know, which is unfortunate. You met me the first woman. True. But it's just an unfortunate reality. I think that's what's happened to Demeech, which is why, as much as I like to clown on him, and believe me, I do like to clown on him. It's funny. There is a part of me that genuinely feels like a little bad. Not that big. Don't get me wrong. It's like 5%. But there is a part of me that just genuinely thinks that like Demeech, I could have been Demeech if I was as terminally online as he was. But thankfully, I have a security job that insists on eating up all of my free time, and for better for worse, it's turned me into the person I am. Fantastic, eh, chat? Fantastic. Let's watch the video now.
Well, the reason why it's acceptable in those games is because they're clearly designed and marketed as online experiences. Wii Sports is defined by local multiplayer and being a game anyone can understand and have fun with.
Delta
Switch
Tail.
Sports never indicated it would be a service game, and people love Wii Sports because it's something even their grandparents can play. Switch Sports is the absolute last game that should ever be a service, and even if it wasn't, this isn't a game I would play at a family gathering, because I'd probably get disowned.
Yeah, you get disowned for liking a video game. That's a shame, isn't it? Also, did you check Demeech? Why would I check that, Kevin? Link it to me in the Discord. I don't trust you. I don't trust that link.
So far, we've established that Nintendo Switch Sports can be fun, but fails due to extremely limited customization, a presentation as lively as a graveyard, and next to no content.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the game being centered around online without any indicator it would, is flat out deceptive.
No,
so what's
I
the
don't think it
verdict?
is.
Never have
The modern video game industry is very online, Demeech, okay?
I been at a loss for words as
you?
much as I have been for Switch Sports.
You sure?
Bad Nintendo games do exist, but they usually fail due to poor game design and features that aren't thought out well. It was almost never due to the lack of trying, but after playing Switch Sports, I was in for an absolutely rude awakening. As a Wii Sports successor, it fails miserably. It has half as many sports as Wii Sports Resort, but even going back to the original, the sports are nowhere near as good. The 5 sports in Wii Sports were all very different and intuitive.
Yeah.
It also included the training games and a skill level. Even Wii Sports Club, the game defined by being dumb, is better than Switch Sports. Baseball and boxing are a bust, but at the very least, it included training games, a skill level, and personality, even if it is faded. There's also been the common notion that people say it boils down to just nostalgia for people who
I was just about to fall asleep. Yes.
don't like Switch Sports. I've said on multiple occasions, nostalgia can be the worst thing for a series. Ask any Mario fan about the games from 2012 to 2016 and see how they feel about them. The reason
He's just nostalgia poison, chat. It's so bad. I've never seen nostalgia poison, like bias, work in reverse. Normally, nostalgia bias is supposed to make you appreciate a game way more than it's supposed to be. It's like the word. Oh my god. This is, to me, it's just sad.
The reason why Switch Sports doesn't deliver is because it's an overall worse experience than its predecessors. I had an idea what the game could be like, but one thing I often question was the unbelievably high review scores. Opinions are subjective.
People online, guys. People online.
I get that, but
Say the
giving
line,
an 8
chat.
out of 10 to a game that didn't even have the servers up for reviewers, that's a bit questionable, because the bulk of the game is locked behind the online. What's even more concerning is the fact that so many people legitimately think that the definition of unfinished
You're a mean
is the
one.
main problem.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my lord. You're really gonna rehash like easily the worst point in you made in your I'm leaving Twitter video. Oh, he's gonna people are getting really upset with me for saying oh.
People legitimately think that the definition of unfinished is the main problem. Take a look at this. Nintendo games aren't
One tweet, yes! Tweet time! Tweet time! Hide the overlay. I resay what I said in a thread a few weeks ago. Nintendo games aren't finished. Oh, it's the classic tweet, isn't it? They were just incomplete. If they were unfinished, I don't see stuff like, yeah, like... Oh, Demeech. Demeech. If anything, this person saying this is an indication that you need to change your language to make it so that you can actually convince people instead of people having a semantics argument with you. Demeech is so boring. You're boring, Demeech. Seymour. I can't even yell anymore. I've got no energy to yell.
Finished? They're just incomplete. Whoa! Watch out, Einstein. This guy obviously knows what he's talking about. Here's my solution.
Jesus Christ. Thank you, Diego.
For those concerned about the definition of what makes a game unfinished, go into a corner, drool into a dictionary, and let the rest of us enjoy games that are actually complete! Nintendo, you won't stop me from giving Switch Sports the ranking it deserves!
Okay. Oh, hang on! Yes! 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 Let's go! Let's go!
Is it as far as you go?
It's the Nintendo thing that he makes. I don't know what the hell this is. No strike! The Waluigi team of Waluigi? It's a mountain! Oh, the sneak attack! Minister Chicken watching this when he was like 14. Yes! I love it! Yes! Demetr, but you have to win! You have to win!
Finish him!
Oh, he's gonna lose. Let me guess. The power of friendship. The power of friendship comes in and then he wins at the last minute. Come on, yes. Yes, 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 come on.
Finish him!
Come on. Come on.
Alright. You can't even finish yourself. Not chance in hell you can finish me. Even—
Oh! Bang a line! You can't even finish yourself. What makes you think you can finish me? Oh! Oh, Demetr, you're killing him!
Justin Bieber could get the better out of me. You embarrassing piece of
random
trash. No girl wants to date you because you—
No girl, incel! You called him an incel! No way!
Can't even finish. Oh, and you have a Joy-Con instead of a Wii remote. See you in the bargain bin, you embarrassment. Peace out. Ouch. Haha, you can't finish me either.
Fred came in for the last minute kill. He's dead. Fred killed him. What the hell was that? You know this? He's being reborn. It's Mecha Demeech version 2. With Joy-Cons instead.
J-Money Christmas. It's beautiful. Let's see if it works. What's your favorite website?
Twitter!
Oh my
Oh, but he built the anti-Demeech.
goodness. My project is finally finished.
You mean complete?
Wonderful.
Evil Demeech, yes! It's Dark Demeech.
Welcome to Demeech's Game Gallery. Today we'll be covering two games.
Thank you so much, Sluggy the Dog. I appreciate it. The fire. I mean, one could burn, but then immediately does a Demeech. This is why we love Demeech, okay? YouTube kids. Listen, there's a good chance that my nephews probably watch this, okay? He's doing the Nintendo cadence. Is he turning into I Love Nintendo 999? Is he back to it?
Games for the Nintendo Switch video game console. Nintendo Switch Sports is the newest iteration in the Wii Sports series, and judging by the name alone, I know it's gonna be good. There are 6 sports to choose from, but Nintendo is
he doing the Scott the Wars? He is doing the Scott the Wars voice, isn't
more out of the goodness of their heart.
Luigi make you
Free
gassy?
updates are a longevity thing, and it's what keeps players engaged. Now sure, the online lobbies might be a little empty now, but they just went on a Starbucks run, and we'll be back soon. Nobody is engaged to games like Super Smash Bros. Melee and Mario Kart Wii because they didn't get free updates.
I Love Nintendo 999.
Retro games before online gaming are forgotten anyway. We want to make sure the engagement is high to make up for the fact that I'll never get engaged. There aren't a lot of—
What the fuck? That's twice now you've used "you get no bitches" as an insult, Demeech. What is happening right now? I feel like I've gone back to a Call of Duty lobby. That's twice now, Jack. That's twice. I've heard you get no women. Women L for you. God, I haven't heard an insult like that for like 7 years. Good Lord, Demeech.
Options, but Nintendo is going to be nice and hopefully add more. You can experience everything the game has to offer within an hour or two, but that's okay because it's a Nintendo game. Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics has over 20 sports, but Sega is only known for providing gas stations with the price scan sound. The reason it doesn't have much content is because of a simple answer: cost. So it's okay for the game to be content light, and it's only $50, so it's a budgie game. Yet again, I do cover Nintendo games and only make $2 an hour. Even though Switch Sports doesn't have intuitive gameplay, the basic fun it can provide gives it the score of a 9 out of 10. Up next is Pokemon Brilliant
Oh my God,
Diamond.
Luigi makes him
This
gassy.
is a remake of the 2006 Nintendo DS game, Pokemon Diamond. Unlike Heart Gold and Soul Silver and even Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, this game stays true to the original, and it's an extremely faithful
I love
remake.
Pokemon, guys.
It has the original
I love
cast
Pokemon,
of Pokemon,
yes.
and none
I
of the
love
new
Pokemon,
ones.
chat.
Nobody
My
likes the
favorite game ever
Candleman
made.
anyway. It's such a faithful remake that it emulates when the DS battery is low by sending you to the home menu every now and then. Some people call this the game crashing.
he's played
The
Metroid?
correct term is going into hibernation. It also has a few Easter eggs. For those who cheated with an action
Not gonna lie,
replay,
Demeech, the bit was funny at the start, but like, you've got
there's a nod to the
it's kind of going on a bit long.
potential bugs from a bad code.
A bit
It's
long
so
for
cool to
my-
see the game reference something that's that obscure. Even though Pokemon Platinum was a pure expansion of Diamond and Pearl with a lot of new features and improvements, Brilliant Diamond keeps it so original and faithful to the originals, and is a one-on-one faithful remake, giving it the score of 11.7 out of 10.
Stop right there.
Oh,
Excuse me?
A little birdie told me you've gone absolutely nuts, and I'm here to stop it.
What are you talking about? I'm fine.
You're okay? You're about to give Pokemon Sword and Shield a 9.3 out of 10.
Matt is part of the Demeech lore.
You despise that game.
9.3 is too low, you're right.
That blue buffoon messed with your brain.
He's blue, da-ba-dee, da-ba-die.
I've tried talking to you, and it failed. This can't go on. This is my last resort, and it's not Wii Sports Resort. Demeech,
It's like
can
nostalgia,
you hear
Craig.
me?
It's basically-
What do you think of Mario Tennis Aces?
It's an unfinished dumpster fire.
Thank goodness you're okay. Yeah. That's for saying it's just Matt earlier.
I deserve that.
Demeech, you're an entitled, ungrateful meanie, but Switch Sports reeks. Let's team up and take out Switch Sports for good.
No way. You're serious?
Hey, it's that bird from earlier.
Let's do this.
Baba Kablooey!
All right,
Do you think half of the? Because remember, this came out a month after Switch Sports came out. Do you think he spent like 2 weeks of the editing? Take on. This is my last resort, and it's not a Wii Sports resort.
The Switch Sports escaped to a very secret hideout. I have an idea
Cinema.
where it is, but we'll need transportation.
I got us covered. Shawnee boy!
And here we are. Let's take out the trash for good.
That's how it feels to chew 5 gum. Stimulate your senses, so.
I'm ready for you this time.
Step right up if you're ready to get toasted.
Here, have some bombs.
Miiverse, assemble!
Nintendo Switch Sports.
And that's it. I think the one thing. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, Demeech. I hate it. The fight happens, and then that's it. You just cuts right back to your review. Demeech, thanks for the team up, guys. Now let's finish this review. Like none of that. Come on. That was gonna be an 11 out of 10, but I just have to give it a 10 out of 10.
Gets the ranking of
Disappointing.
soulless, lazy, no care put into it, embarrassing, baffling, unappealing, deceptive, cash grab, lifeless, absurd, overpriced knockoff, bootleg, nothing to do, unfinished, absolute dumpster fire, doo-doo bag of fire, trash. Do not buy this game.
Oh my god. Carson, when he heard him say that, yes, 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 I love Demeech, Charlie. Oh, Demeech, you're an odd fellow. But I must say, that was actually kind of boring for most of it, I'm going to be honest. But that was easily the best lore segment. Cinema? Absolute cinema. At least the ending. At least the ending, lads. Let's have a quick look through the comments and then I think I'm running out of time. Oh, Demeech. What a guy.